Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional podcast on the 26th of August, or if you're watching on the VOD, some other time.
What's up?
Sup, guys? Hey.
That is a good question. What is up? What's going on?
Well, you want to intro it, or you want?
No, I just can't be bothered today, frankly.
What's
going on?
It's just one of those days.
What's going on?
Thanks for having me on, guys. Again, I'd been too busy in the past weeks, and I felt bad, and I really wanted to be on it. Now I'm on it.
One
Thank
of
you
our
for being
three-time
back.
guests of the show, man.
Yeah.
Are you in the same place you were in last time?
No, I moved.
Okay. I was going to say, it looks so bare.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's
John, before you go on, apparently, you are now 3 times as loud as you were when I did the sound check. So I'm not sure what you just did.
He's very excited.
So
excited
excited
to be here.
What should I do about that?
Is it coming through the headset or coming through the other mic?
What about now? Is that better?
It sounds fine to me for the time being.
All right.
Well,
I mean, can you guys hear me?
I could hear you just fine, no problem.
Okay. All right, then let me know if I need to readjust.
Okay, right. Well, we'll see what it sounds like. Anyway, yes. So, apparently nothing's going on. It would
Zero.
seem.
Nothing at all.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Maybe a few things.
Gamescom is now over, and as a
Yay!
direct result, we have a little bit of a lull again. I mean, we are still in the summer drought of games, although a few things are starting to come our way, which is always nice.
Like
actually,
what, TB?
Destiny. All right. Am I supposed to wait for you to say it, or can I say it?
I'm not really sure. We don't really have a code of ethics on this show.
Do you like Destiny, John? Did you
Destiny's coming out, and I want to play it so bad.
play- Have you not played the beta, alpha, whatever
I did.
it is?
I played the beta, and it was awesome. I mean, it was pretty cool. Right now, I'm playing Diablo 3, though, on PS4, and it's amazing.
Isn't it great? It's
Dude,
so
it's
good.
the best thing. Honestly, one of my favorite games in a very long time. Couch co-op like that has not existed. It's like Gauntlet meets Diablo.
I can
amazing.
tell you. I
I
can
used
tell
to
you
love
why
the
it's so.
Gauntlet games.
I can tell you why it's so great, and it's really simple. The dodge roll mechanic. The fact that
the dodge
exists
roll.
changes the game entirely.
It feels like it was meant to be played with 2 thumbsticks to me. I don't understand. The point and click felt like kind of disconnected to me personally.
I think
It reminds me of the old Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, where it's like, well, how can you translate Baldur's Gate to console? Well, the answer is you just change a whole bunch of shit, and you make it, you change the ideal of it. And to be honest, I do have a copy of the PS4 version, because I was thinking, hey, let's do a bit of couch co-op and see how it feels, and
It's fun.
I haven't done
It's
much,
really
but
good.
the whole rolling thing, you're absolutely right, because they alter the perspective as well. It feels like...
Yeah, they
it's-
brought it down.
Yeah, it slants a little
and
bit.
closer and closer. It's
Yeah.
like they moved it in and slanted it down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like it's more like a kind of console action RPG than the clicky sort of hack and slash RPG that you
I
find
feel-
on PC. It's 2 different experiences.
I feel more into it. And here's the thing. The only flaw with it is that not everyone can look at their menu at the same time, but you can quick scroll through your stuff and push junk on stuff that... And there's less junk
Push
drops. and
junk.
stuff.
Go on.
Well, you can like let's say you pick up a few things, it automatically assigns who gets what, so it's not
Right.
like... And then...
So you don't even have to handle your own junk.
No, you don't. No, you do. Like,
I mean,
like let's
you
say
want
there's
to
a...
handle your own junk, TV.
Let's say there's a bunch of drops. Then if you just push A on it, it just automatically disperses to who it's supposed to go to. And then you could push up on the D-pad to cycle through what you just got, and you can see if it's better or worse. So if it's obviously worse, you just push junk, so you don't even have to look at it later. There's just basically less drops, and it works. I think it works better because I mean, what's the point of more junk drops? It just really mainly drops the good stuff.
I just want junk drops to be a thing. Like something else. Like just junk
Junk
drops
drop.
sounds so good together.
Vendor trash is what we used to call it in WoW. Rightfully
Vendor
so.
trash.
Yep.
Vendor trash, yeah, vendor trash.
They had
I
to
think-
compromise a bunch of stuff for the console version, though. They reduced enemy density. They also apparently reduced the number of summons that you could have, so that apparently
enemies
affects
hit
the
harder.
witch doctor. They do, yeah. Although if you want to be like a kind of pet hoardy witch doctor, then you end up being able to create a lot less stuff, from what I've been told.
But you can still, when I just played as the Witch Doctor, you can still like spam zombie walls, and it doesn't like reduce frame rate or anything. You can just like go nuts, and zombies pop out of the ground and stuff, and it looks great. So
I don't like Witch Doctor. It's the only class I don't like.
I had to learn. I agree. I think it sucks, but I had to learn to like it because it's the most it's the most overpowered class there is. You can do anything at that. Yeah, Torment is real easy.
I just feel like the whole game has a theme, like Dark Brotherhood, and then this lady's like, I do voodoo, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? And you're like, what the fuck? It doesn't fit the style to me, but I like all the other classes. Except
I think we actually on this podcast way back when called the fact that they changed the original Diablo 3 game style, made it like, oh, there's only 6 buttons now.
It's like,
and we were
that
all
sounds, yeah. A lot of people were calling that and saying, yeah, that's probably how it's going to be. And of course, they were correct.
I think it was actually detrimental to the PC version of the game.
Well, yeah. I mean, I still don't like the fact there's only 6
came.
abilities, and I still don't like the removal of talent trees. I can certainly see
that is the one thing I don't agree with. I don't understand but they have that Paragon system now. I don't know what that is.
It's I mean,
I haven't played enough to really understand that.
I have.
System's great.
I mean,
it's great.
Jess has played more than me though.
Here's what I'll say. Sorry, go on.
No, I was saying, like, Paragon, the way it works is each class gets 4 things to choose from that you can put points into as you get over cap level. And what that does is it changes how you play. So you can put points into strength if you want, like, let's say you're a Crusader. You can put points into strength, sure, but why not put them into crit, or why not put them into attack speed? Or you have all these different options. It changes how you play, and you can always change that based on the weapons you have or the items or skills you use. So there's some players who have really, really fast attacks that do not too much damage, but no one can hit them because they're like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And there are other players who are like, one shot, bitch. And it's just how you play. And I think it's really
I'd say the counter argument to Paragon is that Paragon is quite literally the worst part of a talent tree in just a system without any of the good bits, because all of those upgrades are tiny percentage-based things. The sort of stuff that they actually said in the first place that they didn't want anymore in World of Warcraft because it was all boring shit. And they're right, it is. Oh, great, I leveled up Paragon. Now I get 0.5% more gold.
No, hold on. Here's my biggest argument on this whole thing. I've been playing games since I was 2. My first game was Doom 2 on DOS, which might explain why I'm so fucked up. But I played Doom 2 on DOS, and I've always been into like the cutting edge, what do you call it? The cutting room floor of games. Like I was there when like PC gaming wasn't popular. I always loved those kinds of games, and I just think, why do you need a game like with World of Warcraft, even though I love World of Warcraft? Why do you need a game with like 70 billion hotkeys? I like it when it's simplified. Just make it complex but simple, like League of Legends. I think that's better.
Well,
That's
the first
implying League of
Diablo
Legends
1 and
is
Diablo
complex.
2 didn't have
I think
Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 didn't
Doesn't
have
play
like
Dota,
1,000
casual.
hotkeys.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. But I play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. That's like my most hardcore game. And I would say, speaking as someone who's not just like a casual gamer, there's nothing wrong with casual gamers sometimes, but
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like there's nothing wrong if you want to play a game for casual fun. But like I speak for hardcore. I feel like, and maybe not everybody, but I don't like I don't like it when it's too complex. I like when I can learn a simple system. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
It's
Yep.
okay. I was just
No matter
baiting
what
you.
they
I
say.
really am not concerned about which of those 2 games is more complex, because 99% of the players in all of them are fucking terrible. So it's like, it doesn't matter which game you play, you're bad at it anyway. So
Here's what it comes down to. Whichever one you learned first, the other one's impossible.
exactly. Although I made the transition. Although I went back, forth, and back. I started on Dota 1. But I played it. All of us that were playing on WoW Radio's vent at the time were just awful at that game. Like, we had no idea what we were doing. We had like a 10-minute no gank rule. And, I mean, which is the scrubbiest thing you could ever imagine. Like, we hated people that ganked. Like, it took me playing with, I think it was a bunch of guys from Nihilum, actually, the hardcore guild, to realize, oh yeah, the whole game's actually about that. The whole game is about ganking and things like that.
This is the point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be moving. All right.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
know.
I'm not supposed to just stay in my lane. And then I went on to LoL, and I enjoyed LoL for the time, and then I left LoL, and I went to Dota 2, and I enjoyed that as well. It's,
I just prefer. I'm not saying either one's better because they're both really good games. Dota
it
2
depends
has
what you
a
want
better-
out of it.
Dota 2 clearly has a better interface. Like it has a better like casting thing. And
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, LoL doesn't even have replays and shit yet, but
it blows my mind. I can't believe they still don't have replays. I used
to use this dodgy like unofficial replay app, and all sorts of crazy shit.
Me too. All replay.
It was
Replay.
Yeah, I used to use LoL
horrible.
replay. Incidentally, we're apparently dropping frames in a big way right now. This will not be on the actual podcast VOD itself. I don't really know why it's dropping frames. I actually have no idea why it's dropping frames.
It must be because you're using LoL replay.
I just want it to look like this.
Yeah, it's tanking frame rate right now for no reason.
No, it looks good now. Looks good.
It's straightening itself back up now. I think it may
Damn
be
you, Amazon!
it may be an issue with the ingest server. Now it's dropping them again. What the fuck?
One sec. While it's dropping, I forgot to get
Guys,
my
remember
coffee.
yesterday when Twitch was completely shut down? That was the worst. I hope that doesn't happen again today.
Yeah. I have a feeling that it might. It's
No!
it's definitely possible. Yeah, that's really strange. It's like, here's my upstream. Okay, we're only going to use a quarter of that. What do you mean we're only going to use a quarter of it? Might have to change
Let
the
the
ingest
frames
server.
drop. Let the frames drop.
That's quite enough of that. Thank you very much. That is quite enough of that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to keep going as it is. I can try reconnecting to a different ingest server, but I don't know if that'll make a difference. It's streaming for some reason. It is.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean? Like it's just dropping
Yeah, I
the
see it
frames
now.
all the time. And the bit rate I usually stream at is about 3,500 kbps. It's currently streaming at 1.4. Like, so in other words, less than half. I'm not sure.
Wait, where the fuck did John go?
He just left.
Get coffee.
He'll be back in a minute.
I'm gonna go get coffee. There he is.
Oh, now it's down to
coffee.
500 kbps, 300 kbps. All right. I'm going to reconnect to a different ingest server. So the stream is about to go offline momentarily, folks, and we will bring it back. The VOD is unaffected by this. Well, at least the YouTube VOD is unaffected.
Oh, wow,
yes.
that's some weird shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna reconnect.
Wow,
We'll be
some
right back,
weird
folks.
Shit right there.
Was that fucking like Cleopatra Fever?
Yes.
You guys seem like out of sync for me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, everybody's out of sync.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're here. We all exist now
What do you mean by back? Because I just felt a lapse.
in
I don't-
space
Blacked
time.
out for all of that.
I blinked, and then suddenly there was a panda on the screen. I'm not really sure what happened. It's a bit odd.
Strange.
Huh.
Bears, they're taking
Strange
over. The
alternate
bears are taking
universes.
over, and
Also-
you guys, sorry,
Also, I don't feel like I'm in the same spot as I was.
you're not.
No,
Everyone moved.
I feel like I
Everyone
moved a little bit.
I'm in
I
charge
think
now.
I'm in the same spot.
No, I was in that spot. I don't know
All right,
anymore.
TB, enjoy taking over again. I'm done. I've done my part.
That's fine. You just keep that thing running, man.
I've done my part.
I think
You
we
just keep that thing
gained-
running,
we gained
and
viewers.
everything should be fine as long as the audio continues to work. Yeah, it seems like there's some kind of local outage or routing issue around this area, so that's probably got something to do with it. So you can blame Time Warner as usual. Anyway,
that's a good thing to do in general.
yeah, I mean, I just do that permanently all the time, regardless. Well, we were talking about League of Legends and Dota 2, so we could just blame Riot.
Yes.
You
We
know,
could just
blame
move
Riot for all
on.
of this.
We could just move
Riot
on.
did all of this.
We got fined by Riot, guys. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
Riot hacked us. DDoSed. DDoSed.
Disgraceful, really.
So we're
It
back.
was a weird discussion. It was kind of a weird discussion.
What? No, I just
It was
saw.
like the most robotic laugh I've ever heard. What the fuck was that?
Engage.
I don't know. I saw something on Twitter.
Recurse.
Well, it's about Twitch and it was on Twitter. Apparently, wow, Amazon spent
Yeah.
1 billion on Twitch.
Yeah, man.
Slowpoke.
Where
We're talking
were
about
you
that later in the
yesterday?
show.
No.
We sent you this in the show
Whoa,
notes.
no. I knew that they were bought, but for $1 billion?
Yeah,
Really,
dog.
yeah.
Well, that's what everybody was reporting. That's how much Google was going to
Yes,
spend
and
for
we're
it.
not
So it
talking
wasn't
about
that
that now because we're talking about that later.
All right, sorry, nobody
right.
sends me a fucking syllabus.
I'm cutting this right
What's
now.
happening? What's happening here?
I'm glad you have your scissors prop. I got the spoon prop. Oh my god.
I don't have any props.
Brooke, you can use just one of those for the same copy.
Stop it!
Yeah, well, I jack off a lot here. I guess that's what that means.
Hands.
Why?
Why what?
Why
Dude.
is this happening?
Anytime that somebody like has, I always have a paper towel roll next to my shit because, like,
Yeah.
if it for like spillage, like if I'm eating something that's
Right.
spillage, and then every time someone sees it in a video or something, they're just like, "What's that paper towel roll there for?" It's like, I don't know, maybe fucking cleaning up a spill. Like, why does it have to be for jacking off? I mean, like. It would
You're sounding
be
a little
more-
defensive right now, John.
No, because like I could use it for jacking off. I could use it for spillage. It's just a multi-purpose.
Yeah, but you're ordering.
Same
Your
thing,
ordering
right?
is off. If you're trying to convince people it's not for beating off, you don't start with "I could use it for jacking off." I could use it for spills. It shouldn't be your number
Jacking
one.
off.
That's
Jacking off.
It shouldn't be your number one.
Sandwich?
What's the thing that comes after jacking off? Because you could use it for that too.
Guilt?
You can use it for guilt,
You feel just dirty? Like,
the blood of
no.
the blood of the dude. I'm always
whatever you were watching immediately becomes far less attractive than it was. I mean, what are you doing?
dude. Oh, never mind. All
Let's
right.
not.
Right.
Let's just, I can't sound which is worse, the Dota versus LoL discussion or that, but
Easily
Dota versus Law.
Yeah.
John,
Easily
what else
Dota
have you
versus
been
Law.
playing? I would love to hear what else John's been playing.
other than Dota and LoL.
aside from Dota and Diablo.
Besides that, Last of Us Remastered is so good. I didn't like that game as much as everyone when it was on PS3, but I think it's because I'm a frame rate whore, and
Yes.
it was 720.
Exactly. It was like shit.
Yeah, it was 720p, kind of like sub 30 at times, and it was like, oh, it feels gross
Yeah.
to play. This time around, I'm like, oh no, I get it, best game ever.
Yeah, I played a bit of it on there. It's a hell of a lot better. I was
Dude.
noticing your Twitter replies like saying, "Oh, didn't you say you hate it?" It's like, well, yeah. If it ran at sub 30, of course you fucking hated it
Yeah,
because you have
but-
standards.
Yeah, but I mean, like 720p as well, and also the textures are amazing. If this is what the
They're a lot
PS4, if this is what the PS4 is capable of, my console versus PC lines are going to be starting to. It's going to be like PC is for when you really need the ultimate graphics only, because like they're getting really good at making those games run well.
My
Well, the thing
problem
is, the
with
vast
Last of
majority
Us
of them
was-
don't though. Like this is
My
only.
problem was the
Sorry,
controls.
Dodger. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I'm
It's
with
no,
her.
no, no.
I don't
Hold on,
need to
I'm
know the
with
whole
her.
last race thing right now. You go ahead.
I'm with her down in the corner. I'm with you on
No.
this.
Yeah.
I
What's
agree.
the-
My
It's over
problem
there.
with that game was not anything to do with how it looked. It was not anything to do with the frame rate. It was the controls. I thought the controls were bullshit. That's why I
Stupid.
stopped playing that game so
Stupid
quick.
controls.
Are you talking about the fact that it's hard to aim at people?
All the time, yes. That's dumb.
Are you about to say, they always make their games that way in order to replicate the way that it actually is to aim a gun? Because fuck you.
Whoa, bro.
Agreed.
I get told that
Brooke,
every
hold on,
goddamn
hold on.
time.
I really
It pisses me
actually-
off so much.
I actually enjoy being screamed at with that statement because that is exactly how I hate that argument too. I'm primarily I will say mouse and keyboard always the best controls, but you're gonna have to give that up if you want to play on a couch. So it's really just minimizing how bad it's
I
gonna
disagree.
be.
I have a very wide lap.
I
It's
can't do
fine.
it, man. I can't. It feels really uncomfortable, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it
like
does.
but they made the dead zones a lot smaller on the PS4 and Xbox One controllers, so they're a little easier to aim. It's still hard-ish, but like the way I counter it is I kind of just get into the game to try not let it bother me. But yes, the controls
The
are.
way you counter is by ignoring it. Okay.
Well, no, but I mean, like when you see something that's like 90% great, you can ignore the 10%. Like all Naughty Dog games have those really terrible controls. I won't deny it. Last of Us was probably the best of all of them controls wise.
Best of the
My
worst.
brother loves that shit, and I don't understand.
No, I mean I prefer a game to have like I can't. Yeah, controls are almost the most important thing. I will agree. Because it doesn't control.
But if they suck, I will ignore the shit out of
Well, I don't necessarily think they suck. They're just kind of annoying sometimes. Getting a headshot's impossible. Yeah, but you can if you turn it to easy mode, which I haven't. I'm on hard. and I turn listen mode off because fucking listen mode. I hate like in Batman Arkham City, right? Like they give you this amazing world to play in, and then they're like, you push a button and it's like, now I can see everything like a goddamn wizard, and it's
Right.
like, what the fuck's the point then? Games. I feel like people making games need to remember that challenge is okay. You don't need to be able to see everything.
And that you can encourage exploration without having to make it like, over there's a thing, and over there's a thing, and there's a thing that way.
The problem is when they make worlds, especially like Arkham, for example, when they make worlds that are very dark and everything's sort of this blackish gray color, or, brown worlds, they always have to have mechanics where it's like, here's a map because everything looks the same, you might get lost.
My argument to this whole thing is then, if you can't make I'm not saying take away open world games. I'm not trying to be like an old timer saying like this was better when it was on 2 dimensions. But like you should have it a little bit more clear where to go, and then you wouldn't need all this nonsense. That's just how I feel. Like I think that I think what I'm trying to say is a lot of games nowadays are made based on contextual controls, meaning like he has that like grappling hook that takes him to any contextual location, and it's just sort of like automating the game. Whereas if the controls were just better to begin with, then you would be able to navigate better in the first place, and then you wouldn't need any of that. That's how I feel.
Well, the problem with the issue with consoles is you don't have enough buttons, which is why contextual controls are there in the first place.
Do you think so? I
think that's got a lot to do with it. Like, if you look at a lot of PC ports have this issue. You go to it and it's like, why are there 4 functions bound to this one button? And the reason is because there weren't enough buttons on the controller in the first place, which is why they did that. And a lot of that contextual stuff is like that for a reason. Although, you could also argue that because of contextual controls, you're able to use buttons more effectively to give you more actual in-game functionality. Like, do you need 3 buttons to open things? Like, this one is to open chests. This one is to open doors. That's an extreme example, but you get the idea.
No, what game does that? No game does that.
Something from 1990, probably.
I'm saying is like... Sorry, go on.
No, I was saying, a few of the comments that I've seen in regards to open world games, and people being like, well, they're open world, you're not supposed to be able to easily identify anything, you're supposed to discover stuff. If I'm playing Batman and I have lived in Gotham my entire life, discovering shit would not happen. I would know where it's at because I'm Batman, Bruce Wayne. I've lived there my entire life. Like,
I understand. I get it for GTA 5. Like, I've never complained that GTA 5 is like free roam. That's what it's about. But like Batman, when I buy a Batman game, I'm not trying to play like GTA Batman. I want to play like a story of Batman.
Yes, agreed.
It's hard.
Agreed.
It's hard. It's hard.
It seems
to play
like
that.
Well, what about Arkham Asylum then? Like,
that game.
How did that do it?
I honestly think I like. I honestly think I like Arkham City better in general, but it's harder to play than Arkham Asylum because it's bigger, and I think they tried to make kind of open worldy.
I think the navigation within
good games. Like,
the navigation within Asylum was key to the game mechanics, though, because you were trying to find your way through the Asylum. In City, it's like, I'm on a roof and I can glide everywhere.
There you go. That's the difference. The difference is you were in a place and you're like, I have to use my bat senses to get through this area. It made much more sense than Arkham City. Like, the first thing, because I was trying to play it recently, and I got to like Bane, and Bane was just like, want to work with me to find these 6 barrels around the city? And I was like, the fuck is this? Like, what is this? Like, what is this, World of Warcraft? Like, just fucking let me play Batman. I don't know. Maybe I'm like getting old. I don't really think so, because I feel like when a good game comes out, I'm like, oh, that's a good game. I still have that.
I think the more I don't know that this works for everyone out there, but I think all of us on this show right now, because we play so many games, it becomes very obvious when we see like a fetch quest or quests that are just put in the game because they need to pad out the game. And since we play so many, it becomes very like, oh, this again?
Maybe.
All right.
I guess, but then when you look at the best game, okay, like one of my favorite games is Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And I'm not saying every game could be like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but like it's very easy to navigate the world. You know where you're going, and you just kind of enjoy exploring. I don't like when games... I might be in a minority here, but I don't like when games feel like they're not fun to explore. It's like more like tedious. That's what it feels like a lot of games are nowadays.
I think it depends on the type of game in question. Because if we go back to the Arkham example, then Arkham Asylum actually had some fairly clear sort of Metroidvania and Bioshocky elements in it, right? It required some backtracking. It had that good old you don't have the tool to bypass this yet. Better go find that. It's like the whole red door, blue door, green door kind of thing. Mm-hmm. City didn't. City was clearly a different game, although it still hung on to a lot of the mechanics from Asylum. And it's okay really cool to do that. But as long as you kind of clearly mark what the game is.
Yeah.
I personally don't like Metroidvania games because I get lost too easily. I'm terrible at navigation, so I get really fucking frustrated most of the time. Yeah, because I just get lost. They're like, fuck this, I'm done.
Okay, because the new Strider, the one for I don't know if it's for anything but PS4, but I have it for PS4.
It's on PC
I think it's really good, actually. It's the first game in a while to just what, like, I don't know. The controls are like perfect. It was true to the older games formula, but it added Metroidvania in like a way that I hadn't really seen before. Yeah. I thought it was a really good game.
I got lost a couple of times in that game, and I just got really easily frustrated by that. That's I think that's just a personal problem.
See, because when a game's too linear, I feel like I should be watching a movie. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I feel like games are a little bit more fun when you don't know where you're going, and the satisfaction comes from finding your way. But when it's stressful to find your way, it annoys me. That's why games like Batman Arkham City get on my nerves at times.
I do think it has to do with the person, though. Like, for me in a game, if I have no idea where I am, if a quest or like a situation gets started off with, you need to go to this place, it's across from this, and it's a thing that like I've seen before because of something else, I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And I get really excited to like prove to myself, like, I know where Chinatown is. I'm going to go find Chinatown. And then I'm like, oh, sick. There it is. You know, like if I get guided in that way where they pull from things earlier in order to help the exploration process, that's like the most effective way for me. But that's not the way it works for everybody else.
I think it's just good level design in general. And I think a lot of this whole, hey, we're going to have a GPS, so we're just going to point you in this direction with a glowing orange sign. That really just comes down to bad design in terms of the actual levels themselves.
I want to write a book on it one day. I want where it was called "The Bane of My Era Was the Waypoint." The fucking Waypoint ruined.
Can you just call it the fucking Waypoint, and then the subtitle will be "The Bane of My Generation Was the Waypoint."
The Bane of My Generation was
that is exactly why I disliked the traveling in Watch Dogs, because it wasn't about the world you were in; it was about following a blue line through streets. And you didn't care about anything that was happening on the street. It was follow the blue line while you're driving on the street to get to location.
Isn't that every open world game that has cars in it, though?
Well, and that's, I think, a problem. I mean, that's garbage. Like,
So you think like the GPS function from those games should actually be taken out?
I feel like it needs to be redone because you no longer care about what's going on in the world. The world's just they talk about, it's such a living world, and it's a living, breathing world, and so much is happening, but no one cares because they're focused on getting so much. Yeah.
Dude, that's like GTA 4 here's what happened. Here's what happened with every gaming advancement in like growing up through games. Not every, but like some of these like waypoints. GTA 4, I think the other ones had GPS, but GTA 4 I remember having a GPS and it would show you the direction to go. And at first I was like, "Oh, finally." And then I started using it and I was just eventually, it was just a follow-the-line simulator.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "It's fucking stupid." Like, looking for group and world.
I'm the opposite on that. I really am.
You like that?
I don't go into those games to fucking read street signs, you know?
I do.
I will follow the waypoint to get me there as fast as fucking possible.
No. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that I want to read street signs either. I'm just saying don't make a game where I have to drive halfway across the fucking world to get to the mission. Just let me start the fucking mission.
I don't think you like open world games. I just got this impression.
No, it's not.
I also don't like open world games. I'll fully admit that.
I don't like them that much, but this is not an absolute truth. I was playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I actually don't like Assassin's Creed, and I thought that game was amazing until about 3 hours in. It was amazing until 3 hours in, and then it started becoming like a tedious
Assassin's Creed.
That's the problem. But that game was open world done right. It gave you a ship and said go, and it was fun. It was fun.
Have you played Sid Meier's Pirates?
I haven't. It was just like Assassin's Creed plus Sid Meier's Pirates, and it was cool as fuck.
You need to play Sid Meier's Pirates. That sounds like it'd be right up your alley. It's like one of the Assassin's Creed bullshit. It's here's a ship, fucking go, and that's it.
I really should go back and play it.
It's so good. I install it every once in a while just to play a couple of rounds on it because it's
so
that good.
atmospheric too. I love it.
Didn't JP say that ArcAge is also like kind of a parody game?
I think they just on Steam just posted something like get in early access, beta, alpha. Something.
Yeah. Like if you buy it now, you can do all of our beta shit until we release it. And I was like,
it's still an
everyone
MMO,
I know.
though.
Yeah, but everyone I know says it's like, remember a while back we had that conversation, I was like, what would be the best MMO ever? And it was this fantastical MMO that would never be created. Literally everyone has commented like, that is the MMO we wanted in this game, which I'm suspicious of, but all the comments have been like,
that's high praise.
Yeah, all the comments have been like, this is
there.
great. You can sail and travel, you can like change the world around you and build stuff. I'm like, okay, go on. Apparently monsters, like, I don't know. I have no clue. I've never played it. All I know is that everyone's like, you really should. And I'm hesitant because, MMOs and Asian MMOs, deadly combination. That's years of your life gone.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even want to get into that. It sounds... A lot of people have said it's amazing. A lot of people have said it's bad.
Chat says it sucks. Everyone chat's like, no.
Saw. you know what's interesting? I don't want to change the subject. This kind of looks cool, ArcAge. I don't want to change the subject here. Too much,
okay,
like,
don't
I
then.
feel like. Wait, hold on. Wait. ArcAge just came out on Steam, right?
I believe you can do the
or
whole
something.
pre-order, get into the beta like a sucker thing.
Oh, right. Okay, it's not out yet. A lot of games are coming out now on Steam like this happened. This is the exact same thing that happened to Atari back in I know it won't happen again on that scale, but like when they just put out all this shit and nobody knew it was quality anymore, it's just like no quality control.
We talk about that every week, John. That's literally something we agree with.
Coming up. It's like, let's go on Steam and see what's out. Oh, it's all shit. Although, actually, this week, strangely enough, almost everything, in fact, I would actually go as far as to say everything on the front page of Steam is actually worthwhile. It's actually
here's the
snot.
thing, though.
That's what it is. No, I mean, look at this shit. It's great. Like, Lichdom just came out. Airship Dragoon just came out. See No Evil, both the Metro Reduxes. The Journey Down Chapter 2. Big Lands, a game made by kids. Super Time Force Ultra and Cannons, Lasers, and Rockets. It's the best front page of Steam I've seen in a fucking year at least. Look at it.
This actually is a pretty good front page right now.
We got games now! Woo!
Oh, wow.
Whoa, for real games?
Real games!
But
videos.
That's as of August 26th. Tomorrow it'll be a different front page. Let's be clear.
No,
it's like one of those publishers that dumps all that utter crap out. It's like, the front page is looking a little bit dead. Time to post 5 more simulators. It's
and I think it's a good thing because it promotes, it takes away the barrier between the man and the little man. It's good. But, like, good God, they should just do some quality control here. Like, they shouldn't put a game called, like, I don't know. I'd have to. Of course, there's a good front page right now.
Air Control. There's a good example of something that should not be on.
Yeah, Air Control. I could even see that one's all right. But like,
no, it isn't.
Wait, hold on.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
I'm talking about the iPad one where.
No.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
No.
Air Control.
No.
No. The thing is, as much as it's good to have like a free open system. I was thinking of Flight Control.
Yes, I think it's like Air Control is not that.
This is on Steam?
Yeah, there we go.
Dude, see, the thing is, we should trust Steam that it's at least worth the money. What the fuck is this?
No, there's a lot of garbage on Steam.
Even.
Yeah.
But yeah, the front page of Steam right now is looking kind of great. I've been excited to try Lichdom because it seems like it's right up my alley. It reminds me quite a bit of Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
See, what is
Dodger, you played Lichdom, didn't you? At a show or something?
No.
You didn't, one of us did. Was it
I
Jesse?
didn't play Lichdom.
No?
Way back at PAX East where I got the shirt that had Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like, whoa, we got a badass over here. And it's like, Lichdom.
Yeah, you played a little bit, yeah?
This game looks
But it's been it's been since March or whenever PAX was, so I don't remember.
It is actually finally out now. It's not on early access anymore. So I'm in on this.
This looks great.
Yeah, I was working on Super Time Force tonight, but I'm kind of tempted just to go on a Lichdom.
Dude, also...
Do it. Become the battle mage you're meant to be, TB.
Damn right.
I love
I'll be the Archmage of the entire freaking universe. It's going to be awesome.
I love how on their Steam thing, it just says 8 out of 10. And And it's like, see, this is the problem with the number system, because 8 out of 10 sounds bad. You want like 9 and up. So, like, what does that mean? Like,
what does that even mean?
Good.
It came from Game Informer did it, I think. But I have heard good things about Lichdom, and apparently they fixed their field of view problem that's making people sick, so that's good.
Even 9 out of 10 in big bold letters seems a little weird. The only time you should have giant bold letters is 10. Like, when you have a perfect score, you deserve... Anything else is like, yeah, no, they really liked it, but we didn't want to blow it up.
Dude, you have to be like, this was the best game since this game. So, like, honestly, look at hold on. I have to send you guys a screen cap of this because it's so fucking funny. Here, I don't know, Jesse, if you can show this on the stream here.
Oh Lord, this will be interesting.
It's probably beyond Jesse's capabilities.
Yeah, if I touch anything now, this screen's gonna go crazy. I will get it after break.
Yeah, don't fuck with it.
I am doing nothing. Nothing's happening.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, I'm having a look at it now. What is this thing? Yeah, just that giant 8 out of 10 from Game Informer.
It's decent at best.
Yeah, the quote should be just, it's okay, Game Informer.
It's okay, Game Informer.
In fact, if they want to do that, I will give that quote to them. As I gave the quote to Shadow Warrior that says it's better than Half-Life 3, I will give it's okay to Lichdom Battlemate. There you go, that's a freebie right there. Don't even have to ask permission.
I can link it in the chat. Here you guys go.
You haven't even played Lichdom. Don't give them that.
8 out of 10 is like...
It's okay that I haven't played Lichdom. You see?
8 out of 10 is kind of like
as long as they write it's okay ... so that they imply that there's more.
You just literally take the words, rearrange them in what order fits your argument, post them without context. That's how the internet works.
There and then quotes.
Yeah.
It's comma okay. Just like, what is he trying to say?
It's basically I'm saying that it exists.
It
all right?
exists.
Do you understand?
It's okay.
Yeah. It's
exclamation point.
Grammatically correct to the best of my knowledge.
Right, yeah.
Okay, it's. Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yes. Lichdom Battle Mage. It is.
It is, okay. Question mark, okay.
Hold on. Can you guys opt me real quick in the chat? Can you?
I don't know if I want to do that.
What am I gonna do?
Okay, fine. I'll give you. I need to find you.
So trustworthy.
There's 17,000 people in the chat. I need to find you on this list. It's gonna take a while. Goddammit.
Okay, never mind then.
I'll find you. It's fine. I'm at the D's. I'm getting there.
Guys, it's an image that says 8 out of 10 in big bold. You're missing nothing.
That's all it is.
It says 8 out of 10. It's just big.
Got you.
There's
there you go.
There's no joke here.
Got you, bro.
You're missing nothing.
Thank you.
You've been moderated.
All right. Oh yeah.
Not a subscriber to my channel. How disgusting.
Yeah, there you go.
Over and over and over again.
I'm just posting it so you guys can see it. There it is.
There's nothing. There's absolutely.
I'm gonna demod you immediately. You're just spamming.
No, just so they can see it.
I posted it 10 times.
Look,
yeah, but I mean, like, it was just so they could see it easier.
There. Now it's on the podcast, John. You got what you wanted. Everyone in the world can now see this image that was so damn important. I'm so glad.
The world needs to know that it's pretty good, Jesse. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
8 out of 10. And
I like that it's over JonTron's face too. JonTron, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
That's okay.
That's how some people would rate me.
I don't 8 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10 is the laziest rating you can give. I don't want to bash this game, but I don't want to say it's good either. So 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I've always felt 7 was that.
Oh, that's probably you're right. 7 out of 10.
I read Edge for years, and I was convinced that the only scores Edge ever gave any game were 7 and 4. That was it. It's like the other numbers didn't even exist.
Right.
7 out of 10.
Means,
yeah.
That's aight. And 4 means
7.
Don't buy this piece
Honestly,
of shit.
I was actually looking into it recently, and I was like, why am I not having as much fun with games as I used to? Because it's not the games anymore. I could tell it's me. There are some games that are bad.
Games, because I could make a good argument for that.
What? I'm sorry. Go on.
Just go ahead.
What?
No, the main point was that I think I was thinking too much about how much I was going to enjoy the game. I'd look at the Metacritic score and be like, oh, I was 70, so I can't even have fun. So I just would.
This is why Metacritic sucks.
And then, no, but then I'd realize, like,
before you even start playing. Like, why would you do that?
I stopped doing that. I stopped looking at scores.
Good call.
If I want to play a game, I just play it to have fun. Yeah. And if I don't like it, if I don't like it for some strong reason afterwards, then I'll say something about it.
It's not that reviews aren't valuable. They're very valuable when you have a limited budget and you're making decisions and things like that. But like all you really need to know is, like, is it a genre that I like? Yes. Does it have the features that I like? Yes. Do the majority of people seem to kind of dig it? All right, that's probably good enough. But obsessing over scores, that is just going to ruin every value of fun you've ever had with a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Or anything. No? I've got a bit bad at that lately. I actually looked at a couple of scores for movies, and I have a legendarily bad taste in movies. I can enjoy almost anything.
No. That means that, well, okay, you only have a bad taste in movies if you say good movies are bad. But if you enjoy, like Hook is, I know, God rest his soul. Hook is a movie that was critically panned and technically sucks, but goddamn do I love it.
Yeah, no, let's be clear.
So good.
Let's be clear.
Hook is
Technically,
amazing.
that movie sucks. It's not a very good, but it's fun to watch. It's a fun to watch movie, but it's not very good. It's not a good film.
It's not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, half of me said I wish I had a bad tasting game so I can enjoy all the schlock that ends up on consoles and things like that, but I can't. But
No. It's hard. It's not possible to enjoy a bad game as much as it is to enjoy a bad movie because they require input.
Well, I mean, a bad movie at least will have a certain minimum set of standards. Like the camera won't fall over at one point, whereas a bad game, that is very fucking possible.
Well, a bad game is frustrating to play. A bad movie is fun to watch with friends.
It can be, yes. Yeah.
Not always.
But wait, hold on.
No,
When you say,
I've only legitimately, I think, disliked to the point where I say I hate this movie 6 movies in my entire life. I think the latest one was...
Really?
Yeah, really. The latest one was Skyline. You remember Skyline, where it's like, holy shit, this looks like a really cool kind of alien base. They look at the effects. This looks like kind of Independence Day. It's nothing like that. It is 2 hours of inside a hotel room boring as shit.
For those people out there who want to see a movie where the heroes are the most assholey characters ever.
Yeah.
All the characters are unlikable, and you watch them get murdered by aliens, and it's really kind of, you're like, this is kind of the worst yet best thing I've ever seen.
A movie that got panned recently that I want to see is The Purge. It looks good.
Oh, the new Purge? The new one?
I have issues with The Purge because, like, I like these whole... right, here's a thing that works a lot better than The Purge. It's called Series 7. It was a British-made thing about a reality TV show where 7 people get given guns and body armor and told to kill each other.
Running Man?
It wasn't like Running Man. It was more kind of...
Or the five... What's it called again?
Hunger
Games?
Yeah, it's more filmed kind of in a found footage style, but it's filmed like a reality TV show would be. Like, they have interviews with the people and everything. That actually was pretty good. And even then, it was still a bit... I was having difficulty suspending my disbelief because, like, this would never happen. The Purge, even the principle behind The Purge is so mind-numbingly fucking stupid that it's very hard to enjoy.
No, it's not. It's not. It's one of those alternate universe things where it's like the lottery. It's like the Hunger Games, like where it's this dystopian universe that would never really happen. But
they make it too close to being real. Like, you can get away with the Hunger Games because like everything is so obviously out of.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
The one thing that I thought was missing from the first Purge movie that maybe I just didn't pick up on, but in the second one they actually kind of talk about, is I was like, what society would tolerate this crap? We're like,
none of them. Literally none of them.
And so at least in the second one, there's like undertones of, hey, people are revolting against this because it's insane. And I'm like, at least you're touching on that for once. Your movie still sucks, but at least you're touching on it. Yeah.
No, I think that there are ways around that kind of thing, but you can bring... I mean, I haven't seen it, so I've heard it's terrible, so if it's bad, then I'll say it's bad.
It's an entertaining kind of bad. It's bad, but you're like, okay, I watched that. That happened.
It just seemed interesting.
There's a great deal of stupidity. There's a fantastic channel called Cinema Sins that
I have. Are they the ones that do like everything wrong with blank?
Yes.
Yeah. It's called Ew, Everything Wrong With, which is perfect. And I like it because it gets very picky, but he did one on The Purge, and it's just beautiful. Like, he just stacks up. It's like, these are the reasons why this is fucking stupid. Like, and does this for like 15, 16 minutes. It's really good.
Oh, I'll tell you a movie I didn't. I did not like it because I thought half of it was perfect. I'm gonna go and say Frozen is like way overrated movie. I think.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, right, Sam. Sam, right? Can he hear this?
Sam.
I love you, baby.
What, does he not? Does he like Frozen?
Loves it.
No. Okay, Frozen was like, it was like, the beginning starts off like, oh, classic Disney. This is great. This has a really good storyline. And it just kind of like falls apart. And it's got all this like, hey, dude, fucking like, what's his name? It's got that like fucking Judd Apatow humor in it, or I don't know how to like awkward humor. I don't know how to describe it. It feels like it's trying to appeal too much to a demographic, and also the story just really like completely falls apart at the end. Like, I honestly, the fact that they did not acknowledge that there was a talking snowman ever bothered me, because they were in a world that had not had talking snowmen in it. So why would the first time you saw a talking snowman, you'd be like, oh yeah, why the fuck would you do that? She was hiding her powers the whole time, so it was like, she has ice powers, but it's talking snowman, that's normal. The fuck, dude!
I just accepted that Tumblr was not aimed at my oh wow! I just said Tumblr is not aimed at my demographic. That's also true. But I just accepted that Frozen was not aimed at my demographic and just kind of moved on. Like I'm not gonna. I don't think it's a bad or a good movie.
Well, it was
aimed at me.
It was aimed at me, and I didn't like it because I like.
How was it aimed at you?
Because Disney movies are like one of my favorite genres.
Oh, okay.
And I love
well, Disney movie isn't a genre though, right? They've done a lot of different stuff.
It is.
Disney movie.
There are tropes, certainly.
No,
but...
it's basically its own genre. Like Tangled was really good. I like Tangled, and that's a new movie, and that has Taylor fucking Swift in it. I like that one. But like Frozen, just does not. It just wasn't.
Wait,
that
Taylor
good.
Swift was in that?
Yeah, she was like the main. Yeah.
What?
I
thought it was Mandy Moore. What? Look.
I'm sorry. Was it Mandy Moore?
Look, I know my Disney heroines, sir. I know.
Hold on. It might have been. I might be wrong.
Are you getting wrecked, John? Is that what's happening right now?
I've been talking about movies.
I don't know how we got onto this topic.
It's because I'm a fucking...
Moore. It's Mandy Moore.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought it was Taylor Swift. Yeah. Okay. So either way, it's got that fucking like tween thing going on, and I still thought it was a really good movie. It was entertaining, and it had it made sense. That was the fucking main thing. Frozen was a better movie overall, better story, better animation.
Wait, what?
Listen. Wait. This isn't.
Don't you mean Tangled?
Really lost at this point.
You're Tangled now. No, hold on. Tangled was a better film. Frozen had more potential, but fell. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, I phrased it badly.
Wreck-It Ralph was okay.
What?
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is dope.
Wreck-It Ralph was fun. Yes.
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah, that one was alright.
Although, the whole look at how video games we are, where they just threw all the references into a 20-second scene wasn't brilliant.
I'm not going to be honest. I fucking hate Wreck-It Ralph. I just pretended. I fucking hate Wreck-It Ralph. I think that movie's... They were like... that's what my problem with it was. They were like,
I don't think you like Disney movies, John.
No, that's not true.
Are you sure they're targeting you? What?
Yes. Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen are probably the only ones that I didn't like.
Wall-E was good.
Yeah, Wall-E was good. I'm not counting Cars 2. Fucking
Cars is not a relevant thing to anybody's life.
So Cars Land is the best thing.
Although they're somehow apparently mad to make it worse. Apparently Planes is even worse. So
Planes? Oh wait, that's the thing. I forgot.
There's a second one.
Oh, I can't wait for Finding Dory. Like, I'm sure that's going to be great.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's get back into video games.
What have you been playing this week?
Oh my God. This week I played. Let's see. More of Back to Bed, because I love that game. I love puzzle games with weird background animation that looks like Salvador Dali drawings. I also, what did I play? Oh, we played Lethal League, in which Candyman destroys everyone.
Lethal
League is amazing.
Good.
Yes, that's a great game. TB has a video, what WTF is that exists.
Yep, Hyper WTF is of Lethal League is available if you want to. It has a screaming bit at the end where myself, Sam, Jesse, and Gerard are all going bonkers. But the first 15 minutes are like, this is what the game is, and then this is what happens when we put us in this game. So, again, the only problem I really have with Lethal League, other than the fact that it's definitely a very simple game that doesn't have a lot of content, is that I still feel the art style is hideous. Like the low resolution models and the animation is a mixed bag. Some of it looks really good, some of it not so much. Not great backdrops, but outside of that, the gameplay is just spot on, phenomenal.
Yeah, I like the designs too. The designs of the character and the music is great.
Music's fantastic. I love the soundtrack.
Yep.
Also, the totally ripped off Super Smash Brothers game screen is my favorite.
I actually didn't notice that because I don't play Smash, but there you go.
When I was at Gamescom, the guys who make this were in also like this huge thing that was like the Games of Holland or something like that, and I went there and played all the different games they had, and they're all really, really creative games that I like one is a gunslinger game, and so it's like a Wild West Castlevania style game, Metroidvania, I guess you would call it, where you just like all the and you just it's fantastic. You have different guns, and you're in the Old West. There's one that was a Oculus Rift game, but I think it was
Oculus Rift is so awesome.
It was them demoing, I think, the things they had. And the one that I played around in is you're a man sitting on a stack of like 1,000 chairs up in the Alps somewhere, listening to music and like writing notes to people, and it's horrifying because you're. I stood
that
up.
Sounds
and
very relaxing. What do you mean?
No, because you're on like a stack of chairs 1,000 feet in the air, and the chairs like wobble, and like if you look down, you can see the chairs start to shake. And at one point, one of the chairs fell off, and like I was like, "What is even happening?" And they were like, "You sure you want to sit down?" I was like, "No, I want to stand for this." I would look around and get freaked out by it.
Dude, I just got this Oculus Rift game called Senza Penzo. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It is fucking mind blowing. It's like this opera. It's kind of like a Disneyland ride. It kind of goes like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's insane. Any of you have an Oculus?
No.
Well,
waiting for the full thing. Like I ordered at your house, and it just made me motion sick after about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's right, dude. I bought the new one. I gave in. I was like, I want the 1080p one. I want to see it. Because there were some new games. There was a Battle of Endor game where you're literally an X-wing fighting near the Death Star, and I was like, I can't do it on the old one. I need the new one. It's amazing. It's amazing. Literally, I'm in the X-wing, and I look to my left, and it's the Death Star, the big ass Death Star. This is the best technology to come out since the internet, and we're going to have it soon. I keep telling people.
I can't do it. Every time I use it, I see half of what's going on because I'm blind. I can't see anything.
Astigmatism?
Yeah, they need to figure out the glasses thing.
I can't. I need glasses to see anything.
Well, yeah,
I
need glasses, but I haven't got them yet. I'm supposed to be trying to go in this way. I keep putting it off, but for me, I had a lot of difficulty with it. They stated that they needed to have settings for like prescriptions and things like that because I got seriously motion sick, headaches from that thing, and they haven't quite got the field of view right either. Because like if you're immersed in something that has an unnatural field of view, that fucks you up worse and faster than anything.
No,
right.
I'm not arguing that it's perfect. I'm arguing that in 5 years it's going to.
Oh yes, absolutely. Once they get the kinks ironed out of it, I'm just waiting for that to happen because I can't use it right now.
I can't wait for the first news report. New machine, Oculus Rift. Will it destroy humanity? That's what the fucking news is going to be.
I hope that's what happens. So
dude, it's going to be the news hardcore. Kid dies because he never took it off or ate food.
Well, that happened to that kid in Korea who played StarCraft or whatever. It's like played StarCraft for 8 days straight, dies. Yeah.
I don't recall a single StarCraft player ever dying that way, but okay.
It was in a
to Google.
No, it was in like a cafe, and a dude played nonstop, and
PC Bang. Are you sure it was?
Yeah, that kind of stuff has happened to a few.
I'm almost positive.
I thought it was
StarCraft.
mostly just MMOs.
It could have been Warcraft, but I know it was one of the crafts. A dude played and
it was one of the
and died in a cafe. He played like 4 days
it was
straight.
actually 2005, 50 consecutive hours playing StarCraft, and he
Dies.
didn't sleep or eat, and he collapsed and died, which was incredibly stupid, and I'm very surprised that PC Bang even allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
It's certainly a bit
strange. That definitely shows that there was something like amiss, though.
Can we tell the difference between a United States cafe, if that existed, versus this guy? They would have made like, sir, you've been here. Like, are you sure you don't want to eat something? We're gonna have to ask you to leave if you don't order food, sir. Like they would be like, you probably should drink something. You can't just sit here and play games.
Yeah, I mean, even a casino tries to keep you from dying.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing I came back to.
Pretty much. Like it is very odd that wouldn't be.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be something that they checked on.
Like most things in life, it's personal accountability.
Also this week, I played 2 horror games. I'm not a big horror game fan, but I played 2, and the first one, Five Nights at Freddy's, was a fan Friday because everyone wanted me to play it. I will be real honest, it's not a scary game, it's a stressful game. It is. It's not about being afraid. It's about time management or power management. You only have so much power, and you have to open and close gates and monitor things, but you have to do it in a way that saves your life. And the only scary part is when they finally get to you, they jump scare you. But
the storyline of Five Nights at Freddy's is that you're at like an old abandoned kitty house.
No, it's not abandoned. The storyline is you're the nighttime janitor or security guard at a fake Chuck E. Cheese's, and during the day they entertain kids, and at night the animatronics have to move around. And because if they shut down, they'll shut down forever. So they have to move around, and they don't like seeing people there after dark, so they'll kill you if you're there. That's the storyline, and it's retarded. It is the worst storyline that ever existed.
I don't know. That's pretty original. I like that idea.
No. It's a cool game if they like. I don't like the fact that you have to hear that guy talk to you every time you start.
Okay, just call it in. Just call it in to let you know. Like, first off, he's the former employee? Why is he invested in telling you what to do? He's like, my last week was last week, but I'm just calling in to let you know. Why do you care? Shouldn't my boss be telling me this? Just checking in on you.
How far did you get, Jesse?
I got to day 2, 5 a.m. My power got to 0, and Freddy killed me. And the only jump scare there is because you knew it was going to happen, where he starts playing a song, and his eyes light up, and he's like in the corner, and then it fades to black, and then he pops up on the screen. And other than that, there were a few moments where the camera would turn on, and there would be a guy in your face. You'd be like, oh, damn. But it's not scary. There's nothing horrifying about the game. It's just stressful.
Here's the thing.
Know you're counting down to your death. And it's just like, how do I solve this problem? How do I fix this thing? It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I freaked out. I freaked out a little hard because I was like, I don't know what to expect. This is stressing me out so bad. And so what happened was at like 5 a.m. in the game, I just shut both of the doors and just sat like this. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to play this anymore. And somehow I lived through to the second day.
Here,
like,
all right.
So they
my
could
battery
inflict
just
more
slowly
of it on
drained
you.
from having the doors shut. I was just like, nope.
I'll say this: it's really cool that someone made a really original game, but I just don't think it's that fun. I don't like horror games in general.
This is the thing that I think is interesting, and I will constantly say this. A lot of people are like, well, you didn't play the game all the way through. You don't know the real story, Jesse. If I get to a certain point in a game, I'm like, well, that was fun, but I'm done. Then it's the game's fault, not mine. I didn't.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing I realized. I was having trouble. Games were piling up, and I felt guilty. And I was like, you know what? If I'm not having fun in a game, I just won't play it anymore. It's as simple as that. Like,
it's creative, but it's one of those games where you have to really, really like management. That's what it's a management game, not a horror game.
It's barely a management game though, because it's random. You're just kind of like trying to figure out where they are. It's annoying.
Yeah. So
it is management because like you know. Once they get to a certain point, you know the path they're going to take, and you have to like keep checking them, and you have to keep, an eye on your battery levels, and you have to open the doors and turn on the lights and all that shit.
I won't shit on it. It's fun if you're like, I think it's probably a game.
And there's only 5 levels, right? It's 5 nights.
I think there's actually more. I think there's supposed to be more nights. Like, I don't know. What I do know is another game I played this week was PT. And that game
one was cool.
Horrifying, yet after a certain point it becomes really, really awesome. And I would say everyone go play it. I know last week I said I would never touch it, but the lore behind it got me in. And I was like, screw it, I'm in. Is that part in PT gonna be in the full game, or is it just a teaser? No, it's just a teaser, just to show you what.
Yeah, they call it an interactive trailer because it basically is for Silent Hill.
Yeah. It is really
Silent Hills or whatever they're calling it now.
Silent Hills.
Probably.
Yeah, I think didn't they put an S on the end of it?
Yeah, for some reason.
One of the first times in years, I was just like, wow, that was something really that I never really experienced. That it was scary.
one of the things that I noted, like we went around when the whole group of us played it, we went around and we looked to see if people had actually beat it. And there's only a few people out there who have tried to beat the trailer. Most people are like, it's scary, and that's the end of the video. After a certain point, you get stuck in a loop. And I think I'll probably upload that later today. But you get stuck in a loop, and you can't figure out what to do. And it turns out the solution is so bonkers. It's one of those Kojima things that you're like, really, bro? Like, it requires literal research on how to figure it out. You have to play it multiple times. You have to like decode stuff. You have to go learn.
So you're not? It's supposed to be fucking impossible?
No. It's borderline. You can solve it, and then that's how you get the trailer. And a lot of people are like, I don't know how to get the Silent Hills trailer at the end. There's a legitimate way to do it, and it's insanity. It's one of those things where when you figure it out, you're like, how would any human being be able to figure this out unless a bunch of people got on the internet and tried to figure it out together? I mean, that's what happened, and that's how it worked.
Best marketing campaign ever.
It's really when we went out, because we couldn't do it. We spent like an hour trying to figure out how to do it. And eventually we give up, we go online, we come back, and we go through it again. The answer to that riddle of how to solve it, and I'm not going to spoil it because I want people to first watch the video, but I also want people to go do it on their own. I think the answer is like, what? Why? It involves like that load screen at the very beginning that if you've seen the intro, it's just like a forest with trees. And then it's a fake studio name like 7780 Studios or whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was fake.
And everyone's like, what the hell does a forest and trees have to do with it? 7780, when they had it on like a number code, like if you go to figure this whole damn thing out, you realize that 7780 is a code for like the word tree, and then like that's how you decode what's happening in the game. And it's bonkers. It is legit the most bonkers thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And after a while, you
figure it out.
yeah, like after a while, you're no longer concerned with like the scary stuff in the game. You're so obsessed with solving the riddle of what's going on, you don't care anymore. It's nuts. I was like,
didn't they decode it like right the fuck away?
No, it took a week, and then the first
in internet time, that's forever.
The first person who solved it was this girl who was streaming, I think. I don't remember her name, but she did it on accident. She didn't know how she solved it.
Really?
Yeah, and the solution involves crazy stuff like talking into a headset, waiting for certain periods of time, letting your controller rumble and stuff. It's insane.
So they just released this game and nobody knew what it was, and then so somebody eventually found out that it was the Guillermo del Toro and Kojima's Silent Hill.
Yeah, the person who the streamer who was playing and accidentally solved it got the trailer at the end for Silent Hills, and then it blew up all over the internet. Like, oh my god, it's Silent Hills!
But I mean, like, nobody knew what it was for until somebody found it out.
Yeah, no, they released the trailer at Gamescom, and it was like PT, and had like the talking bag head that was like, I am the only me, but are you sure you're the only you? Like that weird ass statement, and then it was like, everyone was like, what is this? And so I think the internet knew it was a scary game and knew it would be like,
cool.
Oh, okay. So
that's what I'm hoping the reason is behind putting an S at the end of Silent Hills, is that it's like alternate dimensions and multiple versions of yourself and things like that.
What I'm hoping is that what that means is it's because what if you haven't seen the trailer, at the very beginning of the trailer for Silent Hills, it says like, you know, he was a gamer and he would sit on the couch all by himself and then he killed us, and it wasn't even very creative how he did it, you know, like that. And it's talking about, I assume, the character in the game, but you don't know. What I want to believe is that the game is referring to all of us, and we're the gamers playing the game. And Silent Hills is, every time we play, it's a different game, so all of our experiences will be different. So it's all our own personal Silent Hill.
That'd be so cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be so cool. Oh my god, that'd be fucking cool.
That would be awesome.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's something that that's going to be on my radar. Also, the graphics are out of this world on that thing.
Oh, they're incredible, and the sound. It's something I didn't notice, because playing on a TV, I didn't notice it. But the minute I put on headphones to put the video together, it was like you could hear like the like behind you, and I was like,
dude, I just recently bought a 5.1 system for my room, and that shit was too scary. She kept being like, in her like fucking weird ass voice. And I was like, no, don't do it anymore.
Stop.
And apparently that weird ass voice is like part of the secret. I'm telling you, if you Google like how to solve that, you will be like, there's no way any human being would ever think this deep. Like, Kojima is a nutball. A freaking nutball. And a genius.
He's a mad genius. He's a mad genius.
Genius.
Dude, the only thing I've ever completely hated him for is selling me a demo for $40.
I did not buy that. I'm very proud of that.
I thought that was real. I thought it was a real game. I thought people were exaggerating. I played it for about 15 minutes and the credits rolled and I went, "Where's my fucking money? This is illegal." I can't believe that was a real thing. That said, can't wait for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, it worked. Fucking worked, didn't it? He managed to
can't believe that.
He managed to charge you $100 for Metal Gear Solid 5. That's what actually happened.
They crossed a line there. That is, I rarely take stances on this stuff, but that was fucking highway robbery. Because they use their reputation to get to. It was almost like some weird form of e-begging. That's what it was.
Well, what's the point of community goodwill if you can't cash it in, right?
Yeah, it was the biggest cash I've ever seen. What does that even mean? Like, you could play it multiple ways. So can you with fucking any game. Most games, unless it is a straight line, can you do this with?
It's not the first time someone's done that, though, right? Didn't they do a prelude to one of the Gran Turismo games and charge people for that?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, my God. What was that called? It might not have been Gran Turismo.
It was called... I thought it was. It was definitely definitely one of the Gran Turismo games did it.
What was that called?
Yeah, Gran Turismo 5 Prelude. And there was also Gran Turismo 4 Prologue. So there was actually both of them.
So
I don't know if
they sold those.
I think so. I'm pretty sure it wasn't free.
Yeah, like
They weren't free.
I even saw that in Bravely Default there are microtransactions. Get that shit out of this stuff, man.
Very surprised to see
speaking of Bravely Default, Dodger, did you finally get to the part that I was hinting at in Bravely Default?
No.
Damn it!
I got stuck.
Is that game good?
Here's
It's really fun. As much as I played, but I'm stuck.
Dodger, do you want to hear what you missed before?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna fucking play it.
Damn it!
Yeah, so don't spoil it. Jesse, there's 18,000 people listening.
18,000 people.
19,000 now. You're not spoiling Bravely Default.
It's not a spoiler of, like, characters or plot or anything.
It's a spoiler, thinking about holding
it's a
your
spoiler
finger
of one part that's so infuriating. God damn it. God damn you all.
No.
God damn you all.
Everybody has been talking about how the game goes to shit halfway through. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Yes.
Does it ruin the game? Because then I just won't fucking play it.
Some people say that it makes the game better, but I think Jesse
Those
hates
people
it.
are assholes. They're gluttons for punishment, those people.
Jesse, I heard basically what it was.
No!
No, hold on.
I'm gonna go pee.
If I can't do it, you can't do it.
No, I wasn't gonna say it to you on the fucking stream. I was gonna type it.
What you were just about to.
I was gonna type it to you on a Skype. Either way, I heard that does it make the game not worth playing? Because I won't play it if it.
No, it just makes you want to just put it down and never come back to it. Like you like the experience.
Is it worth it up to that point?
Yeah. You're like, the experience I had was really, really good, but then you hit that point and you're like, God damn it! And you just put it down.
That's gonna piss me off.
It pissed me off too. That's why I haven't played it since. I was like, ugh. It's down. It's gone. It's just on the ground. I went back to playing. God, what's the name of the game with the grid and the characters and my Fire Emblem. That's how I describe Fire Emblem.
That game is great. All the Fire Emblem games are fucking great.
Fire Emblem's a lot of fun.
So that is how you make a fucking game.
Let's go to a break, I think. We've actually been on for... it's now 4:45. Obviously, we had the technical problems, but we've been on for an hour. So let's run a break, especially when Dodger's away. And when we come back, we'll continue to talk about things. I don't really know where the show's going right now. We had a rough start. It's just going all over the place at the moment. Expect nothing, and then you'll never be disappointed. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. We're playing a bit of hot potato here with the stream, but yeah, that seems to be all sorted for the time being. Yeah, it really does seem like there are actually issues with Twitch, and they're happening in various places. But
yeah,
now, because now everything's running fine, which is great. So we'll get back to it. I think we're pretty much done with the games that we have been playing this week. The thing that I would like to talk about before we talk about what John wants to talk about is...
It's all good.
Let's talk about Twitch being acquired by Amazon. Yeah?
Ah, yes.
Let's do that. That's really the big news of the week.
Good work so far, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a surprise, I think, for a lot of people to find that was the case. Everyone believed that it was going to be Google, but we should bear in mind that was never actually confirmed. Like, there were definitely very strong rumors of it, but it actually became accepted as fact, and especially once the audio filtering came in, people screamed about Content ID from the rooftops.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for that at all.
And that Twitch thing that if you go live on your channel, it's on YouTube, and so people can see... people thought like, they're in bed now.
The little pop-up happens that's like, the thing is on your thing.
I've had mine stuck on for the past week. Like, I cannot understand why that is. It just doesn't go away for some reason. It's like, I'm live. Guys, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to turn this off now. Like, it almost makes me feel like I'm going to have to disable it until that gets fixed. But people are saying that, the reason they didn't go through it's like that YouTube wanted to do it, but they weren't allowed to due to antitrust issues. But I haven't actually seen confirmation of that. I did mention it when they first announced it, that I thought it was a bad idea for that reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
Too
know.
much swallowing of similar companies.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it would
That's
be
sort of what happens, isn't it?
yeah, it would be a situation akin to
Yeah, but that's why
Comcast
we
and
have
Time
laws
Warner
against
trying
it.
to merge, which
Yeah.
no one in their right mind would believe would be okay, and there's no possible way
Actually-
that they'll be allowed to do that, will they?
I may be
United States government and regulatory bodies? Yeah, it's not a good idea?
It already
No?
happened.
Wait, hold
Pretty
on.
fucking terrible idea? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I may be uninformed, but weren't they under fire because they had a monopoly on books recently?
The Amazon has
Amazon?
they've been pushing some things with ebook publishing that
Yeah.
has pissed off some people.
Didn't they do the thing where they make all their prices lower artificially so that nobody else could sell books
Yeah,
or something?
they did the Walmart thing where they got
Yeah.
too big and they crushed all the little
Yeah.
local booksellers. But here's the thing, my counter to that is the local booksellers who are still around offer more than just books now, which is actually better for the community. They offer like get-togethers and fun things to do there, and now they serve
Book
coffee. and things.
clubs.
Yeah,
You know what?
Those are more needed than anything
Well,
else.
booksellers
Here-
were not going to survive anyway in the realm of ebooks. As soon as ebooks became a thing and readers became very popular, they were on borrowed time to begin with. I mean, if you want to talk about that, you talk about written media and games magazines. How relevant are they
Yeah.
with YouTube? Not very.
Here's the problem.
Adapt or die.
People go in a straight line. They don't go to A, B, C. They go A to B. So, it's just inevitable that these things are going to happen. But the question is, now we're looking at it, we're like, we all have it too good. Is that going to ruin everything? You can buy all these books for so cheap, but I don't know. It's hard to find out when it's I mean, I'm not an economist. I don't understand this very well. But it seems like in some cases, companies like Amazon and Walmart have monopolies on a lot of things. I don't know if that's the exact term for it, a monopoly, but it seems like it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
As people in the chat
that's
are pointing
what it
out, the Amazon wants ebooks to be cheaper than the real thing, which I think any sane person would. It's like, well, okay,
course,
so
Yeah.
some of the associated cost comes in printing the book, comes in moving the book, comes in stocking and storing the book. That's a factor, right?
Yeah, well, I know that with the comic book industry, when they started doing ebooks for comic books, all of the people who owned comic book stores started to freak out because they were like, you can't make these comic books online cheaper than the comic books in our stores because it's going to completely wipe us out of business. Our business is already bad. So that's why for a long time, the price was exactly the same.
But it's one of those things where people would realize economics. Why am I paying the same price for digital copies would be irrelevant? But that's the way of the future. So
I think it's actually that's called an oligarchy. I think it's
Yes.
when it's when two people or two companies get together and they say we'll adjust our prices so that none of us lose.
Oh, no,
that's not an collusion. You mean?
No,
that's a cartel.
No.
An oligarchy
It's an
is when a
oligarchy.
family runs a family runs a country and or family
Okay, you're right. A small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution.
No, you are
that's an
literally
oligarchy.
talking about cartel. I know people think, oh, well, that's drugs. No, a cartel is a formal, explicit agreement between competing firms.
or
Okay.
a cabal.
No,
It could be a cabal.
No, but
Cabal requires wizard hats and robes and shit. You can't do that.
Not necessarily.
Some internet providers were doing that. They were fixing their prices, and they were considered an oligarchy for it, I believe.
No, that's collusion. Though they're working together behind the scenes to screw everyone.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm actually ignorant on this topic, so I won't speak more. But I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. No. I don't want to talk on the subject I don't know.
No, but
I don't
no.
know.
The wording might be wrong, but what you're saying is correct.
Did I
You
mean
may have said the wrong
I meant
word.
I meant oligopoly.
No, you're not.
You're making things up now. Let's.
False.
No. That's what somebody said in the chat. Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. Oligopoly is a market form in which a market industry is dominated by a small number of sellers, with a few sellers. Each oligopolist is likely to be aware of the actions of others, the decisions of one firm, therefore influence and are influenced by the decisions of other firms. It's the same word, oligopoly.
Good man.
Yeah, oligopoly and
Interesting.
oligopolists. Yeah, it applies very much to mobile phone providers in Canada. There was
there you go.
the
There you
day
go.
when they all released their deals and they were all exactly the same. It's like, yeah, okay. There you go, oligopoly. So not oligarchy.
Yeah, goddamn. Everyone's like,
We're very close,
It's
very
a close
close.
word, dude. Fucking A. I meant oligopoly. Yeah, internet providers here like Comcast and Time Warner are oligopolies as well. or they used to be, or are. I don't know, secretly. I don't fucking.
They still are, but
They still are.
No, there's no secret. They still are. Yeah.
But anyway, the point was that I didn't want Google to acquire Twitch because of the potential antitrust consequences of that, and the fact that Twitch to some degree competes, but maybe not in the same way, but it does to some degree compete with YouTube, and having that competition is healthy.
Yeah. So you think it's a good...
Yeah, I mean, it's better that Amazon acquired them.
Than Google. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
I would agree just because it gets the competition in there, of course.
Yeah,
Actually,
Amazon are hardly the worst company that could have picked them up.
Amazon probably, in terms of large-scale companies, Amazon is easily the worst streaming service.
I've never had a problem at any point with Amazon streaming, and I use it a lot.
Yeah.
I
use Prime a lot. I rent movies from there for the 48-hour view. It's great. At least for me, anyway.
It's good to buy from it, but the quality has always seemed lower to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I haven't found that.
You ever tried Voodoo? Like Voodoo, they have HDX, and it's fucking amazing.
Really? Oh, I'll have a look at it then. It's
HDX.
More quality the better.
Yeah, it's just a really well encoded 1080p signal.
Just a high bit rate.
Really high bitrate. It looks almost identical to Blu-ray. It's fantastic.
Well, I'll try that one out then. Yeah. That would be great. But
it only matters on a big screen, though. So.
Yeah, most of my rentals, if I want to watch a movie, will come from Amazon Instant Video, and I generally have had no problems with them. I can't remember a time when it's actually either looked shit or when it's gone to hell, whereas Netflix has gone to hell quite frequently.
I like Netflix.
Well, Netflix is great, but...
Try Voodoo. It comes with every PS4.
Voodoo. All right, I'll have a look at it.
It's literally, if you have a PS4, it will be on it.
Can't be any worse than fucking Crunchyroll that can't seem to keep an HD stream for more than 5 seconds.
I don't even know what that is.
It's anime. I had a look to just try and find something good, and I'm like, no.
Oh, Crunchyroll.
No, it wasn't
Crunchyroll, A+.
The minute you watch one anime, your email is spammed with like 12 billion Crunchyroll emails forever.
But it's like, hey, you want to buy this figurine of this anime character's tits? No, actually, I don't want to do that. Please stop emailing me.
The only reason why I have that is because of Dodger. Because when we were in England last year, I watched that Sonic the Hedgehog, like Nintendo anime that was so weird. It's Nintendo versus Sega, and they're all like warriors.
The Nintendo Kingdom.
It's so strange, and they're all like have like barely any clothes on. It's insane.
Ugh. All right, can we talk about this?
John is one of to talk about this.
A
single purpose he has today.
I've said it before. You've got to be careful about reading too much Twitter. That's why I handed mine off to somebody else.
No, I think it's. I just want to address something. Well, I don't know. You tell me how you guys feel about this. I will submit to being a fallible human being. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've just been like, it's crazy. The last 2 weeks, I've just been tweeting my opinions and just been called all sorts of like sexist, ableist, all this stuff, and I don't know how to deal with it anymore. Like just today, Tim Schafer tweeted a video of Anita Sarkeesian doing what's this thing?
It was I think it was the
Feminist
women.
frequency.
Yeah, the video was about women as a background decoration. I think it was the second part of that particular arc of the tropes thing.
If we are speaking in feminism in the terms of humanism, I'm a feminist. I am a feminist then. Actually, Boogie just put out a video about this, and he said, I'm a humanist, and that's how I feel. Like, I really vouch for anyone to have equal rights. Everyone should have equal rights. It's God-given, for lack of a better word. And if somebody's, like, lacking equality, like, for instance, right now, gays can't get married in every state, that's something I'm all for equality, right? But, like, I just think that these issues get pandered to in a way the way I see equality is elevating someone to everyone else's level, not bringing someone else down to bring someone else up. And that's how I feel these things are handled. Because it's saying, because you're a white male, because you aren't, I don't know, just because you're a white straight male, you cannot speak on this issue. And that's insane to me. We should all be participating in the discussion. And I think we should condemn people for shitty opinions. A lot of people have been saying, fuck you, John. You have shitty opinions, trying to commit career suicide. And I don't know how to respond to this because, like, it's a barrage. And I don't think, like, mobbing someone is going to change their mind, even if your intentions are correct. I could be wrong right now. but I sure as hell won't be convinced this way. Like, I don't know. It's been bugging me real bad.
That is maybe the biggest problem that I have with this discussion is that we can't have this discussion. There
you go.
We could blame the medium. I think we can very much blame the medium where it's often had. It's often had on blogs where people they will post very short, very absolute kind of opinions, and Twitter is maybe the worst place for it. Twitter is a place for absolutes, right? Yes. And only a Sith believes in absolutes.
You don't have enough room or time. You don't have enough room for anything other than an absolute, yeah? The reason why there are so many arguments on Twitter is because the only way you can post on Twitter is to post a strong opinion, yeah? Because you don't have space for anything that isn't... This is this, That's fairly short. Well, I think this might be this because of this, but let's go into the detail. Oh, out of characters. Shit, can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they just, honestly, I think you should, including me, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'll take the criticism. If I really said something wrong, I'd want my friends and whoever else to tell me. But like, I'm just voicing an opinion, and like it goes insane, and I just it's like it gets
rather than having your opinions turn into a discussion, it turns into like
because like if somebody really like were eloquently like it's hard because like especially the thing that started it, the whole retarded thing. I was just making a joke. I didn't think anybody would take it seriously, but I guess I was wrong.
I mean, since you're talking about that, and I've said this to you as well, like in private, John, and I'll say it again here because I think you're the kind of person that can take that, and you are not the sort of person that freaks out over nothing, and you can accept criticism. That the use of that particular word to describe PlayStation 4, for me, that was kind of like, whatever. When you used it to describe a person, that's kind of when the line was crossed, because it becomes it's obviously meant as an insult, but it also has connotations, and I've had to learn this, and I'm probably still not 100% there, but there are other words that can be used, I think, that are just as effective to get your point across, But the problem I had with the discussion is that it all sparked from supposedly some people were offended by you using it to describe the PlayStation 4. And then there were people who were further offended when you used it against a person. And I can understand the second part.
I think what the reasoning for that was when you're I mean I've been doing this for my 4th year anniversaries in 5 days. When you've been doing this for this long, these people chip away at you, and it's just like, no, it's not an excuse for me to go ahead and say something really damaging. By the way, like, everyone knows I don't give a shit about PR, but like, this is me speaking here. Like, of course I don't want to use a slur to offend someone, but I think when we're looking to pick and choose, when I see so much softness out there for these sorts of non-mattering things, I want to yell it back at them to just be like, I don't fucking care about your feelings, man. Grow a pair. Like, and of course, if somebody is going out and trying to like Westboro Baptist Church, yeah, fucking let's take them down. It's all about context. Because like I didn't call someone retarded to begin with. I just used a word in a context that I think a lot of us use. I'm not going to use it anymore, for Christ's sake. Not going that route, but like.
I think well, here's the problem with why the reason you're not using it anymore is because you basically got browbeaten into submission about that, because like it's not worth the hassle, and that if you're looking to teach someone something, you don't fucking mob them. Like you instantly put someone on the defensive. And if you have that many followers, and Twitter being such an immediate thing, it is a cloud of stuff flying at you constantly, and it never stops, right? And it's so much, and you feel overwhelmed by it, and you do what anyone would do in that situation, which is you close off, you close ranks, you circle the fucking wagons, and you try and weather the storm.
Exactly.
That's not a way to teach people anything.
I had this conversation before with a friend of mine who was studying cultural relations. Like, she wanted to be a mediator between cultures and like explain things.
We fucking well need those, so right? That's a good thing to do.
And I was talking with her about this because every now and then I'll see, tweets or even full-on Tumblr posts that are just so like, they're so abrasive. They're not the sort of thing where somebody who needs to learn what they're trying to say would keep reading because they're immediately like, oh God, like, fuck, get off my dick. But the thing that she was saying was a lot of times those things aren't written for you. They're written for them. They're written so that they can vent because they see an opening to be like, this is something that I care about a lot and that makes me very angry. And here are my feelings. You know, they don't necessarily intend for you to become a better person. They want to get it out. You know?
I guess I actually can see that, but it's like, and it's not just because I'm a public figure. It's actually not. I don't take to doing that. Whenever I disagree with something, I want to talk about it. I don't want to fucking yell about it and just say like mine's right no matter what. I've multiple times, because of course no one's going to find these posts. They're just going to find the inflammatory ones. But I said multiple times, like, I'm not infallible. I will listen. Just like I almost did a live stream about it, but at the last minute I realized that's not going to go well. So I didn't do it. But like, it's just insane. And I can't stand, I cannot fucking stand. And guys, fucking take this video and send it to these people, please, starting now. I can't stand being called.
Don't necessarily endorse that, but these are JonTron's words.
Yeah.
Just running out the door.
JonTron's opinions are his own and not the opinions of the Corruptional Podcast.
I can't stand being called a sexist. I can't stand being called a race. I was never called a racist, I don't think. An ableist, whatever that means. I
thought you were called a racist in regards to your video on Japanese shooters, right?
I don't think so.
That was done once. Someone
was it?
said it.
Maybe. I can't stand being called these things because, I mean, I guess it's almost. I can see where you're coming from. You're only seeing like what I say, and then you don't see how I feel as well. But like, I'm all for equality, and it just hurts to know that like I can't voice. And I think it goes both ways. Sex, what do you call it? Feminism goes both ways. Extreme and good, like everything.
Everything has extremists, and
and
I had this
we can't talk about feminism at all. It's like you don't say the word or you're evil.
Well, there's a couple of problems that I've got with the way that the internet. I say the way that the internet deals with this topic, but the reality is they don't deal with it at all. It is completely and utterly irrational. It is people have picked sides and they've dug trenches and they've deployed fucking barbed wire and they say, no man's land, you're getting mortared if you even think about taking a step, one step.
And that's true of both sides. Both sides are
absolutely.
like equally unwilling to listen to each other, which is really frustrating.
I think that's inaccurate. I feel like
I disagree, Dodger, actually.
Here's what I firmly believe. One, John's right to an extent that the opinions of a lot of people, most people are afraid to even say anything on the internet now. I know for a fact when I see something that I disagree with, I might start to write a Twitter or a Tumblr, but I've learned, having done so in the past, just delete it, and I don't even bring it up. And I'm like, I'd rather not deal with the issue anymore, and I don't want to deal with that. And I think another thing to note is that while we're sitting here and like saying people have taken sides and people are trenches, they're dug in, I disagree with that firmly. I think there are some nutballs on one side who have dug in and nutballs on another side who have dug in, but everyone else in the middle is either A, staying out of it, or B, which I think is more likely in the games industry, because I know this for a fact. I've witnessed it. Most people weigh what the argument is and come in on a side rather than actually have an opinion. And it's you can see it with a lot of game developers in the last few weeks. They will side with someone, usually, and mostly lately, it's been usually the woman who is, because it seems very like a safe choice. And I really want to call people out on choosing a safe choice rather than sticking to their morals. So like, I'm going to go in on this side and I'm going to agree with this person, but if you're with them in private, they're a totally different person.
Exactly.
Because
I
for
refuse
PR
to be a
reasons,
person.
Yeah, for PR reasons, they go in on the side of whatever is easiest to defend. And that's what they stick with. And so you see lately, especially this Anita thing that happened over the last couple hours, people are going, a lot of people I know, to be very, very sexist pigs, are like, you should definitely watch Anita's video. It is very informative. Like, you are a hypocrite.
Yeah. You know what's weird? And you know what's funny about that, Jesse, is like anybody who knows me personally, all of you would I don't want to throw you under the bus, but you would know that like I don't have a racist or sexist bone in my body. I just want, and I want, science is not a word for a debate, but I want debate. Like I want.
We can have science anyway if you like.
Science is fine.
I want. Look, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong, and I will say, God damn, I was wrong. But like, I just
also, if you wouldn't mind proving us wrong with real words, that would be pretty great. When people make up words to describe things and apparently have an entire lexicon of things that are not real words, it does get a little bit confusing. And I have a feeling you're doing that on purpose. So if you wouldn't mind being clear, that would be fantastic.
And
fucking people have come out, like people with like followings, like I would never even consider doing this, have come out and just called me a piece of shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
I experienced that over the last
I was gonna say,
it's like, do you really think better? Are you a better person now? Like, what did you solve here?
Just really, because people in chat are curious. If you're wondering, Anita Sarkeesian as her Feminist Frequency show, where she does video game tropes, and she's been doing it for a while, and it's honestly no big deal whatsoever. But the internet is all over it.
No,
and
actually, sorry, go on.
Oh, her latest video is about women being used as background objects.
It's actually the second part of that, because the tropes thing kind of goes in arcs. She did, I believe, 3 videos on the damsel in distress trope, and then has gone on to this now.
You know what's funny? Let me just say.
Go for it.
No, because I'm so passionate about this.
That's the problem.
I think she has. What's the problem?
The problem is you're so passionate about it. And
John's gonna say what I agree with.
I'm a bit concerned as to where you're going.
No, I swear, I'm not gonna say anything inflammatory.
No.
Well, you can.
I think he's gonna say
I'm
what
just
I'm
worried
gonna
for
say.
you, John. That's all I'm saying.
No, I
don't mind. You can say whatever you want on my show.
This is my redemption.
We're about to agree. We're about to agree. By all means, go.
All right, I just want to say, I think she has every right to post that, and I think a lot of her points are
valid.
But I think the way she presents them is wrong. All she does is cherry pick like scenes in games where women are getting beat on. There's a game called Bayonetta where a woman beats the shit out of the world. Why don't we talk about that one?
But here's the thing that I think is I definitely agree with you that she has very, very good like topics that should be discussed. But I think you're right. Her presentation of that is cherry picked, and that leaves it open to be bullet ridden with the internet coming at her. A very good example is in this newest one. She talks about how women are sex objects, and examples she uses are like the scene takes place in a whorehouse. Well, of course there will be whores in a whorehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
And if she would have,
and we don't even want, like, if I made a game, I wouldn't make a level in a whorehouse.
We were talking about that before. That of course there are going to be whores. Of course there are going to be strippers. The real problem is that some developer was like, let's have a scene in a strip club.
For the hell of it.
Fun.
Yeah, it's like, is there a good reason for this to actually be in the game in the first place? Does it contribute properly to the narrative, or did you just add it in to tick a box that would appeal to a certain subset of your demographic? And because at that point you have compromised, the artistic vision of the game in favor of pandering, which doesn't seem like a good way to go about things.
What I think the points she's bringing up is that she thinks that people like endorse these things. Whenever I come up to some like skimpy clad, like stupid trope of a girl, I'm like, that's how I don't like it. Like, I mean, not always. Like, it's cool when like Harley Quinn's sexy, but
careful.
No. Here's the thing: we're celebrating, and I see it as celebrating. When you show a sexy woman, we're celebrating how sexy women can be. When you show a masculine male, we're celebrating how masculine men can be. That's why the Statue of David has a perfect form. Like, so it's art. Like,
one of the things I think is, and this goes back to the very beginning, John's issue of like, instead of bringing up is the point of the video, though, that I thought, well, it might not be the point, but it's what I took away from it, is that these things should be removed from games and women as background. The problem is the reason they're there to begin with is because many men enjoy that. And so what that ends up doing is, even though some might view it as wrong, and even though some might view it takes the enjoyment of one group of people and destroys it in order to make another group of people happy. And that's inherently wrong as well. Like, that's not right. There needs to be a middle ground for everyone to be happy. And you can't do that.
And I think we should keep in mind that these are fictional works, and fictional works have always been violent. Why don't we talk about violence? Why don't we talk about us as humans murdering each other? That's something I fucking care about.
We don't talk about violence because none of us in this room is Jack Thompson and actually believes that violence in video games has any real effect.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm getting off track. I think what I'm trying to say is that, like, there's good and bad in everything. There's games where women are the heroes, and there's some of my favorite games ever. So why am I called a sexist when I just call out someone on an opinion that I think
is... Because, frankly, a lot of the people calling you that have no idea who you are. And they're throwing out an angry opinion to either feel like they're part of something that's going on. Maybe it makes them feel self-righteous. Maybe they're just assholes. That's also a possibility. A lot of people are really just assholes.
But it's a lot. It's a lot of people.
It is, yes, but that's because you have 200,000 Twitter followers, and it's difficult for people to relate that don't have as much exposure as you do, because they'll say, oh, well, what's the problem? It's just a couple of people. Well, no, it's actually not a couple of people. It's a lot of people. But if you break it down, and I've been struggling to try and do this and try and get through this myself, it's still a tiny vocal minority, even if it seems like a lot of people at the time.
And that's something you have to understand as well is, it's the people doing it. They're part of that small group, and they may not understand what we're talking about. John, the conversation that we all just had, many times we repeated over and over and over again, like, we agree with her points, and we like this, and we like this. In the comments,
a lot of stuff in video games is pretty stupid.
But I'm saying the comments that you'll get that are angry at you will ignore all of that, because people only hear what they want to hear, and that's life. I mean, you can't.
You know what blows my mind is, like, I go and I insult. Not insult. I maybe say my opinion on all sorts of things. The second it comes to like a woman in the feminist circle, suddenly it's like John hates women headline, and I'm like, wow, how does this happen? Like, is this what we are as people?
Again, like, you have to treat that as exactly what it is, a cop out. It's people that don't actually want to engage on an intellectual level with you saying that. Like, the problem is that you've got to try and separate your anger towards that from actually being involved in the discussion. You have to dismiss that kind of criticism because it's not true. It's lazy. It's absolute bollocks. And it's like, all right, I engage in a real discussion. And again, this is the problem I still have. We can't have this discussion outside of an extremely moderated environment. And Twitter is the exact fucking opposite of that. It is the worst medium on the planet to have a discussion. The only place worse to have a discussion is fucking North Korea. Twitter is awful for discussing anything of value.
Yeah, it's funny because like
Yes.
Say something.
Yeah, weigh in on this, Dodger. Seriously.
No, I'm letting the straight white males discuss this.
Okay, straight white female, you are one chromosome away from being the exact same thing. Shut up. Get out.
You see,
get out of here.
It's funny. You know why I'm like this? Sorry, no, I want Dodger to speak.
No, all I was gonna say is that I'm honestly enjoying like hearing you guys discuss it. I don't really have all that much to interject. Like, I feel the same way, huh?
But I mean, cool. like as a woman, you're playing a game. You go through a game, and let's say, for example, like one of the examples was BioShock 2. Let's say you're like, I'm in a strip club now. How do you experience that in a game? Is it something that you're like, well, fuck it, I'm done with this game now? I'm like, we are going to see differently than you no matter what. Yeah. So how do you experience games?
I don't care if I'm like in that sort of a situation. Like, I can go into, like, say Wolf Among Us. Wolf Among Us, there's a strip club sort of scene. There's boobs out, all sorts of stuff. I got to censor it with my cat faces, which was awesome. But like, when I was in that scene, I thought that the subject matter of that scene was far more distressing than the fact that like that she was naked. I don't know. Like, I do from the small amount of Anita's video that I did watch. I wasn't able to finish it before we started this, but I tried to watch as much as I could because I knew that John really wanted to talk about this. I definitely agree, obviously, that women are over sexualized in advertising. Of course,
yeah.
I won't even
obviously true.
I cannot.
You can't disagree with that. The evidence is everywhere.
Yeah, I also absolutely agree that it's a little bit disturbing when female dead bodies are obviously positioned in like a still kind of a sexy sort of way, and it's like, that's a dead body, yo. Like, I do think that that's weird.
I guess I can see where you're coming from, but like, I just want to know, why is that different than like? I mean, I guess, is it all about the sexual aspect for you?
Yeah, because there's a.
I guess you can't really put
it goes beyond just the violation of murder, right? It's also like they've also positioned her in a way where it feels like there's been a sexual violation, right? And so there are implications there when you see that can be a little disturbing, I think, especially if you're a woman, because that's like your worst nightmare, right?
All right. Here's where I see where you're coming from, and here's my slight rebuttal. Although I do know what you're saying. Are you talking
Watch yourself, John.
No,
Watch yourself.
guys, fuck's sake, let me. You want free discussion? Here it is. No, I see what you're saying, Dodger, and I can't relate because I don't think that really ever happens to guys. But when does that? Besides that Hitman ad, I don't like. When else?
Oh no!
I don't know.
I don't know. In games all the time, like the dead. And this I totally agree with. The dead bodies of women are usually they have less clothes. They're a little more like spread out.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I would say much more so than men. Men are usually just dead guys, either slumped over or hunched over. And when there are dead women, it's a little bit more like we're focusing.
Women are usually in more vibrant clothing, little ripped, facing up, so you've got some boobage, you know.
Actually, I've talked about this so many times with. I don't want to like sound like I'm. Like me and my girlfriend had so many talks about this. Like me personally, I find it annoying that whole trope of like. I got so many bitches and a glass of champagne. I think it's obnoxious, but like I don't think
what?
Like you know the trope of like a kingpin with a bunch of girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've always thought it was shallow and stupid, but I don't think that invalidates all my other opinion. Like you know what I mean? Like that. Yes, some of it is really stupid, but why?
Right. And here's the other problem with the discussion, other than the fact that we apparently can't have it. It's that there is a complete lack of nuance on the internet in any way. It's like you are either 0 or you are 1, yeah? And there's a whole bunch of numbers in between those two. You can agree with some things, you can disagree with others. You can believe that something's wrong for a different reason. I mean, there's two things that I really take umbrage with when it comes to Anita's videos, other than the fact that I don't find the presentation style to be all that appealing. The first one was the one that pretty much everyone knows is that she takes footage directly from LPers and she doesn't properly credit them, which to me as someone that works in this industry, I find that annoying and unprofessional. The second part is that she has a particular opinion on what influence media actually has. Yeah, she's applying that opinion to video games. I do not necessarily agree with that opinion. Yeah? But I will agree with many aspects of these tropes actually being used. And I will agree that these tropes are tired. They are ridiculous. And I also agree that, frankly, we do not have enough good female characters within video games, and we have a diversity problem within video games.
Like 3 days ago, I tweeted about how I wanted the new Zelda to be based off that Clockwork Empire one where they switch Link and Zelda or whatever. Have you seen that? It's like a fanfic.
Oh, yeah, it looks so good.
And I was like, I wish this was it, but apparently I'm a sexist. Like, I don't understand why we can't have both. Like, we can't have a moderate.
Ultimately, I disagree with all of her videos have the slant of this is problematic and actually has influence on males or whatever. And as someone that was vehemently against the Jack Thompson nonsense of violence in video games causes real life violence, I find it difficult to hold the opinion that these tropes would cause negative actions in real life if the violence doesn't. That doesn't sit right with me.
There has never been a correlation between the two. Never.
But like, let me give you the flip side. This is how when I watched her video, there was one in Assassin's Creed 4 where a bunch of ruffians were at the neck of like a prostitute, and then they slit her throat, and they're like, and then so she was like, "Look, a woman was killed," and I'm like, yeah, but it's not like I'm envying the guys that killed her.
Yeah, those were the bad guys, and then we killed them for doing it.
Yeah, but let's look at this is why I think actually the series could be very valuable if it wasn't kind of stooped in a particular agenda. The agenda that I'd like to put on that is, look at how stupid a fucking trope that is. Yeah, they slit the throat of a woman to make you, who is most likely a male gamer, possibly like either late teens, sort of, into your 20s, feel like these are the bad guys because they killed a woman. That is the laziest bullshit.
It's
patronizing.
It's called the female capture the flag trope.
Yeah,
and it's where like a woman almost all the time, a woman is the hostage or is the thing that you need to go and save or get.
Yeah.
So, i.e., the woman is then an object and not a person.
That is a trope in Mario.
I mean this like this is very honest question that I think the world should answer. obviously that is directed at tweens, young men. Like, that's a young man, but it's also a young man fantasy. And when gamers are making games geared towards young men, which is what Assassin's Creed pretty much is. Yes, there are a lot of Assassin's Creed fans who are women, but the core gameplay is geared toward that young man fantasy. If I'm a rogue and I'm in the night and I run on rooftops,
I'm gonna save
and
some peeps and stuff.
Yeah, like that's what it's geared toward. And I feel like, yes, it is a trope, and it's ridiculous that saving the woman is always a thing to do in pretty much every game. But with that said, targeting who they're targeting as an audience, what would you replace that with? That would equal the same sort of like, I want to complete this mission. I want to do it.
You have better development. Like the way that you do it is you develop the antagonist characters a lot better than Assassin's Creed does it terribly, right? Because you slaughter hundreds and hundreds of identikit soldiers. Why do you do that? Like, how can you justify that to yourself? The only way you could really do it is if, I saw them do a bad thing. How do I convey that they're bad in the shortest amount of time possible? Let's have them do something
innocent,
bad.
like a woman.
Like, because I'm a man, I would have more protective natural genetic instincts.
That's the point. They're trying to do it in the simplest way possible.
Yes, but that's the problem. It's lazy.
But not all gamers are geniuses, right? Not all
they
gamers
don't have to be geniuses to understand basic character development.
Hold on. I understand what you're saying, but what we're now saying is you can never use that trope because it's like
you just don't want to overuse it, trope.
No, you don't want to overuse it. But I played Assassin's Creed 4 and I never even got to that part. Most of it was like you had to save a dude. Like it was like a fucking I don't know what, like a consulate. And he was like under attack by ninjas, and you had to save him. So why aren't we talking
about ninjas?
That?
Okay.
And the chat said, Jesse, the idea is that you don't want to target an audience. That's wrong, and you're idiots for thinking that. Because people who make games that target everyone are shit. And movies that target everyone are shit.
Actually,
if you don't target specific people.
Wait. Demographics are a real thing, and it's very, very difficult to cross many demographics and be equally popular. When it can be done, that's fantastic. But more often than not, it cannot.
It's very difficult.
That's like saying stop making actually, this is a whole different argument. Don't get pissed at me, but like Barbie's dolls and like Tonka trucks are at different genders, and I mean, I can understand if a girl wants to play with a Tonka truck or if a guy wants to play with a Barbie, but they're targeted.
In a way. And it's
the weird thing is, do they have to be? Like, couldn't a kid just make their own decision on that?
See, that's the thing. Nowadays, we're in an age where we let the kid make the decision because we're all equal. But in the past, you would say, "Don't be a gay, Tommy. Don't play with that Barbie." So that's the real issue here. Is that who the fuck cares as long as no one's hurting each other and everyone respects each other.
But if I'm going to play devil's advocate to that, who exactly made that happen in the first place? Like the issue of kids, guys play with He-Man, kids play with Barbie.
I don't know.
Girls play with Barbie.
Societal roles. Societal roles was men were tough and we're strong, and we get to play with Tonka trucks and
sure.
And
but can you argue that the media does actually presses those societal roles in? Do they reinforce those roles? And how effective are they at doing it?
Society says this is how it is, and media reinforces the role of how it is.
See, John, here's where it's fun now. We are the media now, and that's why we're saying this right now. Of course it does, but that's why we want responsible free thinkers in our media to fucking enforce these roles.
Well, I mean, I think like the answer to your question, Jesse, of like what's an alternative for the damsel in distress thing.
Please don't say just make a good game, because I will lose my shit.
No, I wasn't going to say just make a good game. I was going to say that to reinforce the idea of our media is part of the problem is that there can be more games that have different options. Right now, it's so hard for us to think of another option because that trope is so tired. But the way to break out of that mold is to actually think outside the box and do something different and more character development, like TV was saying.
Can I ask a question? Are we?
Yes, John, you can.
Are we complete? And I'm not. This isn't an attack. I'm really asking you guys. Are we ignoring our biology completely? Because guys are attracted to girls, and girls are attracted to guys most of the time.
I was gonna say. Whoa, John.
I was going to say, right now is when I cut the stream. I was like, oh, damn it. Now he's gone off the deep end.
There are obviously exceptions, but that's...
There are more than just a couple of exceptions.
Well, you know what? I want to see games of all creeds, all genders, all races. Just make it all. I'll enjoy it all. Unless it says something bigoted, and then I won't enjoy it.
Here's I think is the big takeaway that, and I think everyone could agree on this, is make a game. You can make a game where a character is gay. You can make a game where a woman is the hero. You can make a game where it's not sexualized at all. Don't emphasize that part, though.
Yes!
That's the infuriating. Like, make a game. Don't sell your game on the fact that, like, you're a gay hero. No, you're a hero. The gay, like, that's nothing. That's their, like, don't emphasize that.
Enough, there was a JRPG that came out at the start of the Xbox 360's life where one of the main characters was flamboyantly gay. That was never mentioned really anywhere on the box. It was just considered, it's a character. Unfortunately, it wasn't very well presented. It was made by a Japanese company, so they unfortunately ended up turning that character, at least in my experience, I only played a few hours of the game, so maybe he developed better later on, but they ended up turning that character into a comic relief. And it's like, wow, that is really disappointing.
Yeah. Okay.
There was, I think the very first time that I experienced that of expecting something out of a character who was gay in this situation.
Enchanted Arms was the name of it, yes.
There was a show that I used to watch. It was like a British show about a bunch of kids that go to music high school, right? And they go to, they know that they're going to have, I think it's like, like parents visit day. I don't know what that's called.
Parents visit day.
Parents visit day. You guys know what that means. But the like very flamboyantly gay character who, again, like it had never been mentioned that he was gay. He was like, oh, I'm really not looking forward to my dad showing up. We don't really have a good relationship. And you immediately are like, it's because you're gay. That's definitely why you have a bad relationship with your dad. It's definitely why. It turned out it had nothing to do with that. It was because his dad felt like he should be doing something other than music. And I was like, you just blew my fucking mind. Because it was like the first time where I had watched something with a very obviously proud gay character, and they weren't defined by that. They were a gay human being, who like had other issues going on.
I have to say this because you're spot on. And Penn Jillette is one of my personal heroes. I love a lot of the stuff
guy.
he
He's
says.
fantastic. At least in my limited experience of being in his presence. Also, he's huge. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's really big. He's just so with it. And he said, like, why would I care about my gender, race, or sexual orientation? That's the least interesting thing about me. That's how it should be. And it's like when you make a game, like even the Ballad of Gay Tony on Xbox 360, I mean, like, okay, but when I see the Ballad of Gay, no, when I see the Ballad of Gay Tony, I see it as a celebration of that aspect of life in general. I don't see it as anything else. I'm just like, oh, cool, a game about a gay guy. I'm into it, Like one block over, they call it Gay City. I go there and I'm like, yeah, it's great. Like it's just a celebration to me. Like I don't understand why it's good or bad or in between.
I think, and I think that's the key. It shouldn't be an issue of, if it's good or bad. That's I think the problem with making, like, if you have a gay character or a woman character or whatever, whoever the main character is of your story, you shouldn't have to ever defend it or justify what you're doing or say whether it's good or bad. You should just make it happen. And if it's a good story and it's good gameplay and it's a good world that you've created, you won't ever have to do that.
Yeah.
And you can make characters without having to be like, oh no, the woman was almost raped, so that's why she became a badass. Or, oh no, like, this guy's gay and his life's such a struggle. Like, no, he can have a struggle of a life and his sexual orientation not matter at all. Be more creative. It's your job as a creator to do something about it. And you can target games and keep the target there and still target audiences without it having to be the tropes that we've known for years. And I think that's the overall takeaway.
Yes. And also, whenever I bring up the point, which I like to bring it up, where I say, well, if girls are sexualized, men are treated as tyrant kings who are muscly. And people say, but that's a power fantasy, and that's better. And I say, is that better? Is that what we've come this far as a civilization because that's better? No, it's not fucking better. Like, if that speaks something about you if you think a power trip of tyranny is better. Like, that's what bothers me. It's just like, because like I might have a bigger muscle that makes it's stupid, man. I just don't like it. Like, I think that we've come so far in equality and like non-violence that we shouldn't even, like, why are you calling that better?
I like to point out.
I don't have a power trip. I don't have a power trip for that.
It's fat guy. The fat guy's always a villain. I want to point that out. Always a villain. The fat guy's always a villain.
Not Street Fighter 4 is not. Rufus is a shining example of humanity.
Oh no, Rufus
doubt
is straight
about
up.
that.
He's a bad guy.
Rufus wants to be the very
bad
best,
man.
like no one ever was. Like he is a motivational figure for everybody.
Rufus is a bad man. Unrealistic.
The implication is that there's a bit of a chicken and an egg argument, I think, going on with the way that women and minorities are represented in video games, yeah? The argument that currently seems to be putting out there, this is why I pretty much disagree with Anita's ideas, is that she believes that games teach people to either act or think in a negative fashion towards women, right? Whereas I think the argument can in fact be made that since games were aimed towards men and continue to be aimed towards men for the longest time, they have naturally adapted to present things which are appealing to men and to play on the baser instincts of men, which I feel is lazy. But, I don't think they didn't teach people to act that way. You know, they didn't teach people. Let's talk about let's bring a silly example. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, right? Let's throw that one out there.
Love that game.
Silly. I don't think
let's throw that one out there. It's the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2 or whatever did not teach men or males or young males or teenagers or whatever to objectify women. Yeah, they already liked looking at women before they started playing that.
It's so scary to us that it's in us to begin with. It's like
it is. You're right. It is. We're a little afraid that that's what's inside.
Yeah, I mean, we are biologically wired to like that stuff. I'm not saying everyone is, obviously, because gay and transgender people, all sorts of things like that. But
Roger loves boobs. Loves them.
But the fact of the matter is, like, that's the main problem I have with the argument. Like, if right now, and we've seen the stats for this, we talked about this last week where we debunked this whole idea that women actually are a larger demographic in gaming now than teenage boys, which is only true if you count the games which actually do appeal to women. It's a very strange idea, isn't it? Because people say, well, games aren't made to appeal to women. Really? I found loads of them on mobile devices that are predominantly played by women. Now, here's the question. Here's the tough thing for business is it because those games are actually designed to appeal to women, or is it because have they gravitated towards those games because core games are aimed primarily at a male demographic? Or is it because of the mechanical differences? Is it in fact that the majority of, say, older women prefer to play a certain kind of game that is prevalent on mobile devices, and ergo that genre has adapted to be more female friendly? This
is it. This right here, it's... I would guarantee that this is the gateway to at least as far as I'm aware, to a lot of women playing video games, is their phone. It started as something to do because they were bored and grew into a hobby, which is how it started for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that's why mobile games are more prevalent in women gamers, because that's their gateway to gaming.
Yeah, you can't really start on the...
but if you started that way, then you also have to make the argument that women didn't have a gateway to gaming prior to this.
They did it. Though,
which is true, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. At least,
I would say that there are two possibilities here. One far more possible than the other. But the first one being that for a long time, girls weren't supposed to play video games.
Exactly, that's the one.
And
that's why. But you're just like 2 generations or like 1 generation behind. Because
even now though, I have friends who they didn't get to play games until they left the house. Their parents were like, no games. You don't play any video games. It's fairly recent, that idea, that concept of that's not something you should be doing. You know?
Exactly.
And
every one of us has experienced that to some degree, right?
Absolutely. And so yes, phones have become sort of a gateway in that fashion where it's I already have a phone. Oh, that looks fun. Little gems doing things. And then it develops into more and more complex sort of games if that's what they're interested in. But the second thing that I think is also possible is that women, I was talking about this with TB, women really like to multitask. I think that there's an aspect of our brain that really latches on to mobile games because it's something to do in between everything else.
I can go ahead and say the woman multitasking thing seems to hold up.
I was about to say, thank God none of us said that, or else we'd be called a sexist. And John immediately I agree with that statement. Women are crazy.
No, women are not crazy. They're just really good at multitasking. My girlfriend,
I'm sure not all of them are.
all right, maybe not all, but as far
on average, they are better at it.
On average, men tend to focus in and do a lot at one thing. This is just on average. men tend to focus in, and women will do a lot of different things because
I thought that just was like a thing. I didn't know it was like sexist.
Can I blame consoles? That sounds like a great idea. I love blaming consoles for pretty much everything. Let's blame them for one more thing. Consoles were marketed to boys.
They were Super Nintendo, biggest game, Monster Truck Rally. They were all.
But to be clear, like having grown up in having been the early part of the 90s, the late 80s as a game player, it was very like you can see how it changes through the years. When I was young, video games were for young children, and then you aged out, and no one played them anymore. And the people who did were big freak, like those are the nerds, right? And so
we were.
Like I had to
the
work
first
my
generation
ass
to
off.
really grow up with games. Like
No. Like people will tell you back to the Atari and the Commodore. You know.
Oh yeah, no.
But I mean, I was born in 1984. I mean, the Atari and the Commodore were still around then. I started playing games when I was about 3. So I mean, you can't go much further back than that.
Yeah, we are pretty much then. We're the first generation.
We're
the first generation to grow up to take games seriously and put them out there and tell. Like I remember 5 years ago, this shit was not as accepted as it is now. 6 years ago. 2007, 2006 wasn't
there was definitely a period, a shift, and you're right. I don't know when it occurred, but it went from video game is in this realm of nerdy to suddenly, and I'll be real honest, I think money did it. I think at some point money crossed the line. People are like, oh wait, you can make money in video games, and that's when it became acceptable because then companies and businesses were pushing that, like, oh, gaming's awesome, and the reason why is because someone's making a ton of money. And now because it's in the cultural eye and everyone's like, oh well, it's socially acceptable. Now everyone is out and open and cool with playing video games.
Exactly.
And now it's a different culture now. Where
I feel like they took it from me. I feel like they took something from me. I really feel that way.
It's a little weird because I remember playing Super Nintendo games, and it would be like me and my friends gathered around a 2-player game, and there are like 4 of us, and it's like we'll wait our turn as we play Contra and stuff, and that was a moment where you were just like a big old nerd in some dude's basement having fun, but. No, like the minute you left and you went outside, you were like, boop, game mode off. I'm now a socially acceptable teenager, and everyone like, hey, let's go get drunk later. Like
I remember.
It's all facade.
The group of guys I used to hang around with at school, like we'd all go to the computer lab after we'd eaten dinner or whatever. We'd go to the computer lab. By dinner, I mean dinner in the UK, which is actually lunch. So now you're confused, aren't you? We had dinner and tea. Dinner and tea. Tea was a meal. That what confuses a shitload of people. Tea is a meal. Tea is like a colloquial term for dinner, like your evening meal. So we used to call it dinner was lunch.
Oh my god, that
does that explain a lot?
Confuses me so bad.
Oh my god, now I know.
Dinner was lunch.
Guys,
tea was dinner.
The worst.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Fuck?
Breakfast was still the same thing, or brekkie. Brekkie is the thing.
Brekkie? That's a better name.
There you go.
I'm gonna
brekkie.
call it.
And then of course supper.
Sam says, "What do you want for tea?" All the damn time, and I'm like,
there you go.
Oh my god, that explains the line. And have buttered scones for tea, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I always wondered what that meant.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you have scones as tea?
Exactly. Now you understand. Yeah, tea is a Britishism for dinner.
Dinner.
It refers to a meal. Anyway, yeah, so where the fuck was I? But yeah, we used to go to the computer lab and we'd play stuff like Planetarian, and we used the internet and shit like that. And yeah, at that time we were definitely, this is very nerdy, which was a bit weird because people still like played on PlayStation every now and again. They just didn't really talk about it that much.
Right.
No, but, it seems like we just missed it. Like 5 years after that, the subculture would have been so much better that it wasn't a subculture anymore, and that kids just play games. That's a thing. Or more to the point, teenagers play games. It's so strange. We pretty much missed the boat by a few years on that one.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And as far as women and playing games, like I have a lot of girl friends.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a Tumblrism. Don't do it.
John. You're about
you don't get to go the.
My best friend is black.
Yeah, my best friend.
You're doing that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
What?
You're not allowed.
I haven't said the full sentence.
Doesn't matter. Tumblr says no.
It's too late.
I don't give a shit.
Cut it out.
Many of my friends, half of which who are girls, is that fucking better? The girl portion of my friends, a lot of them grew up.
Why are they segregated from your other friends, John? Why does that have to be a portion?
They
Do you give them some kindness
basically
coins,
what I'm
John?
saying is
Do you give some
they all
kindness
shouldn't be
coins?
allowed to have abortions.
Oh dear.
But anyways, a lot of them grew up with like SNES and stuff, and like they just are they played games just like anybody fucking else. I never saw growing up, maybe because I grew up in the 90s, I never saw that like divide between people. I just saw people who like to hang out and do stuff, and I guess that makes me white cis scum. I always thought I was just above bigotry, but I guess that's not what it is. Although I don't know if you could be above bigotry, but just like I always thought, yeah, if you're a bigot, you're stupid. That's why we. I don't know. That's why we fucking condemn it. I don't get it.
Well,
Fuck
yeah,
it.
I don't think anyone's gonna claim us. Oh, yeah, bigotry is totally fine. Like, no.
It's cool. I
wish to make a final point before we kind of wrap this up.
All right.
Okay. Here is the point, and I think this applies to anyone regardless of audience size, but it is significantly magnified when you have a large audience and a large reach, right? You do not convince anybody of anything by browbeating them into either silence or submission and making them feel fucking terrible. That is not the way to get anything done. There was a nice little tweet that was sent out by Daniel Floyd of Extra Credits.
I saw that. I just saw that. Dude, fucking awesome on that guy.
Yep, he says this: anger and insults are possibly the worst way to make someone see a different perspective. Once they're put on the defensive, the walls are up and they're nearly impossible to break. If you actually want to bring out a change of heart or make someone feel differently, a rage swarm or shame fest gets you nowhere.
I agree, and if somebody wants to talk to me about something, I mean, I can't promise I'll be available, but if I see it, if you're fucking civil, I'll talk to you. And I think most of us would, because I don't want PR, man, because PR is the way of the fucking past. Like, if I have to go PR, I'll just quit, and then maybe I'll be happy. No more JonTron videos. I'll get a regular job, because I don't give a shit anymore.
I've seen a lot of people over the last couple of weeks who I've had a great deal of respect for act in a way that I find to be just a bit depressing, who have got involved in rabble-rousing, that have got involved in clear mob tactics, and who are dismissive of other points of view and don't seem to be trying in any way to discuss the issue. It seems like they have picked a side and they will not leave that side or even discuss with anyone over the other side of the fence at any point. And I mean, I personally would like to thank those that were willing to discuss it. I had a little discussion with the fabulous Jake Rodkin, who, of course, is part of the Idle Thumbs podcast, great guy in the gaming scene, who explained to me, it's like, he was disappointed that I used the term SJW, and he explained why he thought it wasn't a good idea. I'm like, okay, I accept your point of view. I think that's reasonable. I'm not going to use that. Let's just be more descriptive. Let's be accurate, and more to the point, let's not be fucking extremists that do nothing but label the other side, because it's very easy to put people in a box.
There you go. There you go. We're doing the exact same thing by calling them SJWs. I don't think that's what you have a good point. I don't think I'll use that. I'll just say extremists.
Don't put people in a box.
Extremist is a good word because it just refers to anybody who does that kind of shit.
You know, if you have a problem with someone, call them out for the reasons that you have a problem with them, but don't stick them in a box. Don't label them, because ultimately it does your own argument a disservice, and it does nothing but set up partisanship. And frankly, if you think that partisanship is a good line, then look at US politics and fucking tell me that with a straight face. Does anything get done when partisanship is in play? Fuck no, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
It does not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope
you'll find that most people are actually very reasonable. Right?
Actually, that is true. Like, I think most of these people, even the detractors to myself and other things, are probably pretty reasonable. They're just not. They're not going about it the right way. And I really just hope that people took to heart that we're not like assholes sitting up here thinking we're better than everyone. We just want to engage in the discussion. That's it.
And more to the point, it's worth noting that a lot of us just actually want to talk about video game related topics that are not this. Like, they would prefer to do something else, because really it is actually our job to entertain our audience and talk about video games. And frankly, I would rather not discuss this. I would rather play great games like Lethal League and tell people why they're great, and allow them to experience that and be helpful to the industry in that way. And that's actually okay. Like, it's not if you're not with us, you're against us. That is not a real thing. That's a construct that does not exist. And frankly, I don't want to be part of it. And I hope that a lot of others don't either, because it's ultimately toxic.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I did a lot of things wrong in the last 2 weeks that I won't be repeating. Nobody's infallible, I think is the point. Like, much better ways to go about this stuff. Yeah, it's all been said. Just for the record there, because everyone's going to be like, he still didn't apologize or whatever.
And big thanks to them. We had kind of a sub train going over the past couple of minutes. We were just saying, hey, I just subbed to say, we enjoyed this discussion. Well, thank you very much for that. We definitely appreciate that. That's really nice of you.
That was really therapeutic.
I hope so.
That was fucking driving me crazy.
You would be surprised how many people are actually not bad people when you really get down to it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's easy to see one statement and just think demonized forever.
I know this entire person because of a tweet. No.
Yeah. So just don't do that.
At all. All right, well, that brings us to the end of the show. Obviously, it's been a bit short because of the technical issues, but thank you for bearing with us through that. We hit record numbers. I believe we did manage to top out at 23,000 concurrent viewers. For a live gaming talk show, that's pretty good. I certainly hope that at least this was useful to you in some way, or mildly entertaining. Probably can't be both, though. That's not really a possibility. So let's do our shout-outs, tell people what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, and tell people where to find us. And we'll start with our guest of honor, Mr. JonTron. Go.
Oh, you want me to tell me tell them what I do?
Absolutely. Tell them what you do. Tell them where to find you.
I make white cis scum feminist hating videos.
You ruined it.
And everything you said over the last 40 minutes
is now gone.
Okay, I make just silly game reviews, like sort of like AVGN. They're basically like kind of AVGN kind of videos. You can see them on youtube.com/JonTron show. Just look up JonTron. You'll find it. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem whatsoever. Jesse, where can we find you? What are you doing this week?
So I do on youtube.com/JesseCox. I do Let's Plays. They're basically like JonTron.
What? Whoa!
Reached the 4-hour
limit. Oh god! Turn it back on!
Damn it! I didn't get to do my joke. Right when I had my joke, I was gonna do their basic like JonTron,
it's spinning.
like
It's loading. Why does Skype even have a 4-hour limit? What the fuck is the purpose of that?
I don't know. Bandwidth?
Damn it.
Bandwidth is peer-to-peer.
Hey, is it peer-to-peer? Okay.
It's peer-to-peer. That's bullshit.
I had a bit going.
What was your bit? I want to see it.
It was going to be that I was going to say my videos were like yours because you said yours were like AVGNs. And then Dodger would have said my videos were like Justy. And TB would have said you're all idiots. And it would have been hilarious.
I wouldn't have taken part in that. You know that.
Jesse is still the only video that I can see.
God damn it, John.
I can see. Hold on. I think, did that fix it?
It's still spinning.
Everybody's spinning.
Just let it spin for a little while, man. Let it spin.
Have we really been in this for 4 hours?
Yeah, guys. By the way, sub to this. You should subscribe to this podcast because they do some great shit. It's just a good ass podcast.
Thanks, man.
I don't know. You guys just keep it real. I love that.
Oh, Johnny.
John. John.
The coolest thing is you guys will tell me when I'm wrong and you'll tell me when I'm right, and it's just cool. I like it. It's a good place to come and talk.
Is that something missing from your life? No one. Do you have all yes men, John? Is that your life? Everyone's like, whatever you say, Mr. JonTron.
Well, I know of a few YouTubers that are surrounded by nothing but yes men. So
I have not eliminated. I try to ignore what I know is a yes man thing and listen to the people who really are trying to tell me something. That's the best I can do.
I have my wife to tell me I'm an idiot. It's useful.
My girlfriend helps that stuff.
I have only no men. I have no. I need yes men. I need them in my life,
dude. You're I don't know if I told you you're was it the animated series? What's it called again?
Cox and Crendor in the morning.
Cox and Crendor in the morning. No, the animated one.
Yeah, Cox and Crendor.
That's fucking awesome, man. It's so
Thank
good.
You. Yes,
so
go
good.
there.
I couldn't even remember the name of it.
And the Patreon. Go there. Patreon.com/.
Begging for money.
Okay.
I need a Patreon.
Should we just continue with the spinnies?
And it's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just
so
leave the spinnies in there. Don't turn it off. It's not gonna work. So.
Go there. I do Let's Plays. I'm doing one with Cry. Right now we're doing Resident Evil 6. This weekend's gonna be all indie games because of PAX. Whenever I go to PAX, I play over that weekend just a bunch of indie games in order to celebrate how much I love indie games. And then I think that's all that's happening this week. And the last part of PT will be up tonight. So that's it. Go watch that. It'll blow your mind how to solve that game your head will blow off.
Oh, you did.
So,
you did the whole thing. Wow, that's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Luckily, Gerard was there, so he was like, "Let me figure this out," and I was like, "Good job, completionist."
Oh, was he there in person?
Yeah. All of us were in the room together. We had gone out that night drinking and decided it would be a great idea to go home and drunk PT. No, it's horrifying when you're on alcohol. It's the worst. So, yeah, eventually we sober up very quickly and figure out how to beat it, and it's pretty impressive. So, tune into that tonight. And that's it. Twitter.com/Jesse Cox. Go there.
All right, yeah. Dude,
what's going on your
watch
channel?
his fucking animated series. Gotta watch that shit.
Oh, youtube.com/Cox and Crendor. Go there.
So
it's very funny.
Their animator is a fucking god.
Wow. I'm letting you know, Dan, right now. Dan just sent me a message, and I guarantee it's going to. I guarantee he's going to be like, JonTron said I was a god. He's going to lose his mind.
He messaged me.
The circle jerk is real.
Yes.
Hi everybody. I have 2 channels, youtube.com/pressstart to continue, where I do gaming and gaming adjacent things. And I have another channel called Dexterity Bonus, where I drink coffee and talk about my cats and food for like 10 minutes every day. And it's best show on the internet. Come subscribe. On all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS, and I am also going to be at PAX Prime. I'm leaving on Thursday, so I'm probably going to be uploading mostly like streamy footage and things like that. But yeah, hope you enjoy.
You should say hi to Austin. PBG.
Hi, Austin.
No, because he's in Seattle.
Yeah.
Not just fucking in the stream.
Hi, Austin.
Hello, Austin. He's gonna
miss you.
Good times.
All right. I also run 2 channels, but I'm not doing a huge amount of StarCraft right now because it's extremely time consuming, and I'm trying to be busy with other things and also getting well and all that kind of shit, as you're probably well aware. But regardless, you can find me over at youtube.com/cynicalbrit. Ramping up the WTF once again, now that we actually have things to do. Wow, I mean, I'm looking at the list of things here. There's like half the games I'd actually like to play. I'd like to do a video of Lichdom. I'd like to do a video of Airship Dragoon, because it's called Airship Dragoon. I mean, what else would you need to know? I'd like to do a video of Big Land's, a game made by kids, and Super Time Force Ultra, and cannons, lasers, rockets, and all sorts of other things like that. But I'm just doing videos. That's the way of it. I do a show called Content Patch, if you haven't seen that already. I do occasional shows which tackle parts of the games industry. I put one out today, which was having a look at the role of the media in hyping up video games and trying to encourage pre-order culture. Did that, and we've got a video of Lethal League out, which is with me, Jesse Strippin, and The Completionist. That's a very, very good indie game indeed. And I occasionally stream from time to time, which is on this channel, twitch.tv/TotalBiscuit. I am intending to restart Dota 2 streaming this week at some point. It is usually pretty late at night once I've finished everything and once the dogs have gone to sleep and all that kind of stuff. So I will see what I can do about that. I'll try to do a little bit more of that this week. Also, I did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Dodge has done the Ice Bucket Challenge. Jesse is conspicuous by his absence in the Ice Bucket Challenge. You can find my Ice Bucket Challenge on youtube.com/JennaBain. And we also did for the team, youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. My StarCraft channel has a bit of Ice Bucket Challenge from Crank and Olivia as well. And Jesse hasn't done his yet.
That's true. I haven't.
And probably won't. And frankly, that would be fine, and you shouldn't accuse me of anything for that.
Yeah, by the way, I just want to say, next time I come on, if you have me, I want to fucking just have a whole 1-hour segment talking about how much I hate pre-order culture, because you just reminded me of that.
Cool. We should just have a therapeutic, like, one-on-one session for like an hour just to hate that shit.
Yeah, you guys can do that by yourself.
Yeah, Dodger's heard my opinions like 5,000 times already, because they keep coming up on the show every now and again, so I think she's sick of it. I don't blame her. But we could do that.
I just hate. I mean, I was just kidding, but I mean, like, you reminded me of.
I'm not.
Culture.
I like money,
dude.
So let's make some money,
dude. Oh, you mean like on a stream?
Fuck yeah, man! Let's make some money. Let's bitch for an hour.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do a stream because I would love to talk about that. All right, well, thank you again for having me on. It was a blast this time.
That pretty much wraps it up, folks. Do remember to check out youtube.com/Polaris for other content, including Dodger's show, The Daily Bite, and other things of questionable value. And of course, please remember to follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/TotalBiscuit, twitter.com/JonTron Show.
That's me.
Twitter.com/Jesse Cox, and twitter.com/Dex bonus.
Twitter.com/Warzone. That's mine.
Yep, and just remember, the only thing worse than Twitter is North Korea. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.